and let's see when it connects.
I got you up here, so I'll tell you when it starts. Agreed.
Nice.
All right, something's connected, but it's not getting an image yet. Oh, there we go.
No.
All right, we are live. All right, guys,
I am
welcome.
refreshing.
We are live on my end, so welcome all of you, and thanks for coming to the pilot episode for the Sultans of Shadilay podcast. I am Bezek, and I will be the moderator. I'm from Australia, having fun at this hour in the morning. I am joined by Jezza.
Hello, how are you all doing? I'm also from Australia, and it is also very, very early in the morning / late at night for me.
We are also joined by our friend Second Plague.
Yeah, I am a proud Merkin. I'm also a Christian and a Lockean-style classical liberal. And the name Second Plague is a reference to the Second Plague of Egypt, owing to, my kind of Christian tradition, as well as the frog in my profile picture and, just Pepe in general. So that's the inspiration behind my name.
Christian pills incoming.
Yes.
And we are joined by Shoeshine Johnny.
Hello. Well, I guess I'm Shoeshine Johnny, the artist currently known as Shoeshine Johnny. I am the token Slav of this weird group. I'm from Slovakia. And I am also the guy that will sometimes derail the conversation because I just can't stop bitching about late night comedy and these comedians and how they ruin the world. Also formerly a progressive, a convert.
Excellent. We finally cured you of your madness. And Spoon, how are you today?
Greetings, and I will be the voice of reason. Well, try to anyway.
The voice of many wet dreams as well, apparently.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
And last but
I can
certainly
confirm if you wish to pay me for it.
Last but certainly not least, Trim, our resident, artist, shall we say.
Yes, well, kind of. I'm the one who's created the abominations you see before you, and are now talking on the screen as well. My name is Trim. I am the resident Norwegian, proud member of the greatest country in the world, of course, with the best resources, the best people, the best ratios of anything. We don't have to talk about certain policies. No. And yeah, I'm here to just make random noises, make a few comments here and there, and most likely start laughing insanely when other people start speaking.
Excellent. So, jumping right into it, we are starting off with our Lotus Eaters after show. So, French civil insurrection. Civil war in France, pro?
Approved. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well,
I prefer it to happen.
I'm kind of iffy on that because if only for the fact that I feel like if France was to have a civil war, we all know what side the global cathedral would intervene in favor of.
Unfortunately, that is true.
Yeah,
because that's kind of the thing.
For the EU.
Yeah. I mean, it's also if civil war were to ever break out again in the U.S., I'm pretty sure I could take a wild stab at which side of the political aisle the European states would support in that conflict.
They might support it, but they're probably not going to actively get involved. But if there is conflict which breaks out in Europe, the thing I'd be worried about is the EU empire actually starting to form, because we all know the Germans are just waiting for it.
I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's true. So if that happened in America, America would be somewhat insulated by its superior military force, but with a country like France, which, let's just say isn't as strong, I feel like Germany would they would hop all over that.
Yeah, and Germany can try and come up to Norway, but we got enough moolah to buy them out.
Yeah, they would declare a first German Empire for a safe and secure society.
This is how liberty
Gee,
dies.
that
through
kind of
rambling
sounds
insanity.
familiar. I think there was some Austrian dude who said something like that once upon a time.
Yeah, kind of a
Yeah.
shitty painter, though.
Well, to be fair, he only missed with an angle on a window, and I do like his mustache, but I hear he ripped that off from an actor.
Ruined the whole thing
You
too.
do,
Yeah.
you do realize in
bad.
a couple of years' time, people are not going to realize who's Hitler and who's Charlie Chaplin.
Don't remind me. It's
Well,
Well, at least the Americans will, because their education system is a pile of wank.
Also, the
No
situation
offense.
in France is just, it's interesting because if you just took France as isolated and not a part of the European Union, I think the generals and the army just would win the coup, just like that. But the problem
Yeah,
is,
agreed.
if they do a coup, they have the whole freaking union on their backs, and it's gonna spark some bigger stuff. If they were
What,
just
like
as
them leaving
isolated
the
and nobody
union?
would, yeah. Well,
But it-
there will be sanctions. They would just leave the union and
They will probably
go it
guards
alone.
on the borders. Yeah,
It kind of depends, to be honest, because they are the military with all the generals, and if they start being doing too many sanctions, France actually commits gives a lot to the union itself, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
But it was the
think
same
that
with
if the
Britain.
generals do it properly and get the population on their side, they can actually get some of the not EU members, the members who want to get out, will get on their side.
Absolutely, the based countries would get on their side, of course.
absolutely. I
So
think
we're talking
England will
about
be
another situation of the Allies and Axis.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
quite possibly.
EU's axis, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Germany's
in-
axis.
Germany would be in massive favor of it dissolving, because if France were to stage a successful coup and leave, which would likely be what they would push for because they don't like the immigration into the European Union, all of the debt would go to Germany. And Germany would not be in favor of that. So they would say, to hell with this,
it
it's a
could be
failed
the end of
experiment.
the union.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yes,
Yes.
that would be so beautiful. I mean, Germany
yeah.
barely managed to hold up as it is. It is
French military is going
wonderful.
to end the EU. Let that sink in.
That would
That's
be glorious.
really funny, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very funny.
And as was brought
Very
up, if they decide to leave the EU, they'll get a lot of support, hopefully quite a lot from England.
I would hope so.
Yes.
Oh man,
Maybe.
the prophecies are coming true. It's the second
Yeah.
plague of evil. The frogs will rise up.
May the 31st English-French War will the last. Forever
That's
freedom.
I'm
Forever
just like,
friendship between England and France. Oh my god.
yeah, I'm just
Great
picturing
all of
England.
the EU.
Well, no, I'm picturing England and France like standing side by side against the European Union, and it's like the end of Return of the King. I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with a Frenchman. What about side by side with a friend? I could do that.
Look,
Yes, indeed.
the
Indeed.
V4 countries
Well-
will be on your side, so it wouldn't be so weird.
I mean,
It's not gonna be just the two of
Gondorian
you.
Rohan people. I mean, everyone joined in that final stand against Mama Merkel. I mean, Sauron.
Yes, exactly.
The thing of it
Also,
is,
we
it
could
will.
see a re-establishment of the true kingdom of England, which includes
That'd be
France.
nice.
It is kind of
Or
funny
we
because
could,
it will be a repeat of the Second World War, because it will be the French and
Yeah.
the English against the Germans,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
which is
Or we
rather
could
funny.
find the cyborg general in command of the European army, set him on fire from within, and then send in the shutdown code to shut down all of the EU Union. And then re-establish England as the first European empire, with Boris Johnson in his black cloak.
But think about this now for a second. Let's just say, okay, long shot now, that the French, I won't say successfully stage a coup, but at least gets enough public opinion further to push for a Frexit-style leave, and it's successful. there is no reason any of the rest of the Union wouldn't side with the French and the English against the Germans. At least not as far as I can tell.
I'm sure Poland would side with France just as revenge.
I wonder why. It's not like Poland has a kind of shady history with the Germans.
Yeah, weird that. I mean, I've heard some rumors that something happened down in the 40s, but it's just speculation anyway.
Oh, I'm sure it was just some minor political spat.
Yeah, a little bit of discussions between this rather short black-haired fellow with a funny mustache and being like, we need a little more place to live. How about we just go that way? Is that okay? Thank you.
What, are you Hitler or V?
Snap! Ouch! Thank you. I felt the smiting of Jesus upon my soul. Oh.
I do kind of wonder how that is all going to end. And when is the
Wait,
French
Jesus
election
smiting my
happening?
soul or the France leaving EU causing it to inevitably collapse?
Next year, I think. It's next year.
Yes, next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Because right
Based
now
on
it
the
is.
facts on Michel Houellebecq's book.
Yeah, because I know there's three now. There's Le Pen, there's Macron, and Barnier is like trying to look like the sane middle ground between the two.
Yeah.
And I said for a long time, the problem with leaving all of these problems is that the middle ground is not going to do, because the middle ground is not going to be enough.
Yes.
The middle ground solution would have been way earlier, which you could have done like a soft reset. And now everyone looks at the middle ground and go, you're too much of a bitch to do anything about it. Go with the further right opinion. And the further right opinion is probably going to be more effective. And that is what generally worries me. But then the generals say, screw you, we want to take over. I'm like, base generals. Go with the generals.
Yeah, it's also interesting because, well, we can actually probably effectively talk about left and right politics when we talk about France, but generally speaking, lots of the other countries in the world, left and right isn't a very accurate descriptor for the political differences between the two wings of politics.
You may as well just speak nationalist and globalist at this point, especially for Europe.
Yeah, I agree.
Basically.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
nationalism is on the rise all over Europe.
Left
If
and
the
right is
military
to
does a successful coup, they're definitely going to install Le Pen as the president. So.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with that.
It's unsurprising that nationalism is on the rise after several decades where just about every government that I can name has been bending over backwards to the advantage of everyone but their own citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a trend basically where after a long period of left-leaning and socialist politics, suddenly we get a turn and go hard right.
Well, it's also this thing where the idea of nationalism has become poison because, well, Hitler was a nationalist and he committed genocide. And it's like, okay.
People tend to forget the socialist behind that nationalist.
Well, yeah, but it is also like they act like it's somehow this like absurd kind of argument to make. The people who call themselves liberals act like it's a like impossible argument to make, but within liberalism is the idea of the social contract, because a country's citizens are the people engaged in a contract with their own government. And so obviously their government has a much greater obligation towards them and their own interests as a matter of loyalty.
Well, remember, from the Lockean perspective, and what should be the rational perspective, is not that the people answer to the government, as most governments seem to have forgotten. It's that the government's power derives directly from its citizens, and if the government must answer to the citizens, not the other way around.
Right.
Well, not in America anymore, because remember, we the people are the government.
Yeah, of course.
God.
Yeah, Biden, speaking of actually all the Star Wars references, Biden actually looks like Palpatine.
Yeah, it does, doesn't he? It's disturbing.
He just only bonus is he doesn't sound like Palpatine, at least.
Now, I'd say Palpatine has like a one-up on him. He has those like yellow Sith eyes, but his eyes are actually you can see them. Biden's eyes are all like creepy and like beady and shit. And if you've seen that like that one I don't know, comic artist person who draws those like panels of Joe Biden like sucking the blackness out of a black girl who won't vote for him. Like
Nah.
you look at that, you look at his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at his eyes in that picture, and then you see him in any interview and debate, and they're just so beady and black and dead inside. It is actually creepy.
Biden
he is
is
the Lich
Biden
King.
is Biden is Vader after he got shocked by the lightning. Kamala is Palpatine.
There we go.
Yeah.
She is
think
the
that's pretty-
psychotic, power hungry. That woman is I actually think is a psychopath. I legitimately think that she is power hungry lunatic. And everyone
Honestly,
knew she was going to be chosen. Like when they decided who we're going to have for a VP, everyone went, it's going to be Kamala. Everyone knew it before it even happened. She was
And-
supposed to be the chosen one until Tulsi Gabbard beat the crap out of her with one shot.
Exactly.
yeah, honestly, I think Kamala Harris being VP is the reason why Joe Biden is going to make it at least through the midterm. Because, Joe Biden is an effective mask for the Democrats. They can do all this like radical shit, and then Joe Biden can, and then Joe Biden can just go, oh, this is about red states or blue states. It's about you, your family, the people of the United States of America. We gotta come together. We have to do this. And the normie will look at him and go, oh my, what a unifying moderate. But like, if he were to vanish from the picture and Kamala were to take over, she doesn't have that same masking effect, and she is a charisma black hole. And so
Yeah, I mean-
if she was the face of the party, then I think more people would take serious issue with the party's actual actions. So I think they're definitely going to keep Joe Biden at the front of things, at least through the midterm elections.
Well, isn't
I
it
mean,
after
just
the
look at the
midterm
guy.
elections where Kamala gets to finish out Biden's term and then run for her own and possibly get 2 more? Though, God help America if they vote her in 2 more times.
There is no way in hell she would even get the
Fortifying
primary win.
her
She couldn't.
in office.
She couldn't get the primary on her own account. And if the Biden presidency is anything to go by, there is no reason in hell people would vote for her in the primary. And regardless, Trump will kick the crap out of whoever the Democratic nominee is after the like. Look how badly it is in the first 5 months. If it is going to be another 3.5 years of this crap, I don't even think the country would survive
Yeah.
it, let alone an next election.
Absolutely. Do you think that who is it? DeSantis, based Florida man, will run and get Trump's
Endorsement?
Yes, endorsement's the word I'm looking for.
If he were to run, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you were to
yeah.
run, Trump would definitely endorse him. But,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to run. But DeSantis does prove like kind of at least one white pill point within the Biden administration is that we're starting to see the red state governments within the U.S. actually asserting their, I guess,
Their
state
balls.
authority. Yeah, exactly. So they're looking at what the
Time.
federal government is doing, and they're like, oh, biological males in women's sports, drug
It's
the
a terrible
children,
idea, yeah.
like just completely remove the standards and integrity of the voting system. Crack down on guns, more abortion and shit. And the red state governors are like, no, okay, we can actually do something on a state level to resist this. And I actually think that's pretty effective because maybe within a federal level they are the outer party, but on a state level, in their own states, they are the inner parties. They can be more effective at actually managing things there. And so that's what I like to see. I like to see the political right wing in my country actually be moralized, actually be confident in their willingness to assert their own positions.
Well, yeah, because they've got a
Might
moral
just
incentive to do
dovetail
so.
off.
Yeah,
Go
the
on.
Might just dovetail off of that. I just got a quick question for you guys. How much have you been noticing moral and ethical language coming out of your local politicians recently? Because I've been looking for it and listening for it, trying to hear my local politicians and our federal politicians here in Australia start using the moral words, start talking about things, heavier way than that, or a thicker way, as Carl's decided to introduce us to in their policy decisions and the things that they're talking about. And I haven't really noticed it, unlike what I've heard from the MAGA section of the Republican Party in America. They've been talking in very moral terms and using very thick concepts in their discussions and what they're putting out to the public lately, which I think is a wonderful thing, but I'm not hearing it here. And I'm wondering if you guys over in Europe are hearing that from any of your local politicians.
Well, I certainly haven't been hearing it in my neck of the woods in Australia, though my local politicians are experts at the art of speaking for hours and saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, what about you guys? Have anyone else been hearing the thick concepts from anyone?
I live in an EU country. They can barely say a coherent sentence without me wanting to throw my shoe at the screen. It all just sounds very empty, especially when it comes to the coronavirus. That just sounds. They sound like clones because they all say a new thing, but it doesn't seem genuine. It seems too manufactured.
Yeah, it seems too rhetoric.
Yes, it seems too, well, for lack of a better word, politicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Grab onto what I think was Second Blake was saying about the right wing in his country. The right wing in our country for Jez and I is basically one party, which is goes by one nation. Unfortunately, being the only party to the right at all, they attract They attract a large amount of the legitimate white nationalists and the other assorted crazies, which doesn't help them get anywhere.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I'll agree with that.
Well, I would also say that the political right wing in your country also includes Sky News Australia, which is surprisingly based.
We all should have Sky News.
That's where we sort of go. They're not right wing; they're conservative. Like, I know that they sound right wing, but the people who are on it are all conservatives. They're not right wing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, conservative and right wing isn't automatically the same, though they share a lot of.
Unfortunately, the biggest issue is it seems that these days the truth sounds right wing.
That's exactly right. Absolutely. That's what it is.
We do have a little bit in Norway with the guys with a thick concept, but you'll find that to our central parties and central right parties, and we actually don't have any real right parties because centrism is Norway's king.
Yeah, our right party is very right, but unfortunately the side effect of that, like I said, is attracting the legitimate nutters. And they've got a few policies I very strongly disagree with, but I have to keep looking towards them because they're the only one that aren't actively working against me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the situation where we've got the Labour Party here as well, which is the far left party, along with the Greens, who are essentially the same thing. Then we have the centre left party, which is the Liberals, and then we have, as a right wing party, we have One Nation, and it's the conservative parties, like they're all Christian based, essentially, here in Australia. The conservative parties our big L Liberal Party claim to be conservatives, yet all of their policy sits centre left. It's very, very frustrating.
Well, to be honest, though, in Norway, the right and left thing is more pushed over to be, shall we say, in the side of collectivism and what's the other one?
Individualism.
Yes, individualism. What you can say is that the centralist party, Senterpartiet, they are the ones who essentially are the champions of more spread out, more police stations to the smaller places, to smaller counties, smaller cities and villages. Unlike Høyre, which is our currently in control part of the government, they are all a bunch of centralists, at least from what I can see. Erna Solberg, she is our prime minister. She is a big devotee to that. Thanks to her, she has pretty much closed down a lot of the satellite police stations, ambulance areas, a lot of that. While the Central Party is opening to divide divide the counties back to the smaller counties, as well as increasing the amount of police stations.
I mean,
So
more
they're
police
looking
in
in
general
providing
is
service.
good.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
That's something that
Especially
I
region
find.
police.
That is something I find amazing in an American context, is that you have all these white leftists who are like, abolish the police, defund the police, and then like 70% of black people in the United States are like, no, there should be the same amount of or more policing.
Yeah.
Well, that's because, as a general rule, I would say that for whatever reason, the black community tends to live in black communities, for lack of a better word to describe it, and unfortunately, gang culture is very attractive to young men who've never met a real man and have no father in their lives. And when you're surrounded by gang culture, I would be willing to bet you'd want more police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Well, we all know what the culture that created the situation in the US, and that's the Democrats with redlining, Jim Crow, all of the other, like
Another little fun fact people seem to forget is that white supremacy is not something that is, again, tied to, just like conservatism and liberalism, is not tied to the right or left. White
That's correct.
supremacy, as people say, it can be added to everything. And well, we all know about the fucking Dems now, do we?
Yeah, don't we just get back on your plantations?
Well,
If
and
you
these white
hear-
leftists are the real white supremacists. That's just
White
Exactly.
supremacists with
Yes.
guilty consciences, that like it's been
Yes.
said for
Exactly.
years.
Absolutely.
That
Yes.
was my favorite part of Sargon's debate with Thomas Smith at MythCon, where he was like,
Yes.
"You are a white supremacist with a guilty."
Beautiful.
I've got to watch that highlights video again someday.
I love it. Just love
If
it.
you hear the phrase white supremacy, substitute the phrase with competence and tell me if it doesn't still work.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
us saying that. That was the Smithsonian who said that competence was a form of
Yes.
white supremacy.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, is that if ever you hear the phrase, what are we fighting against? You hear it from the left, never from the right. And the reason is because all of the entire democratic platform is as a group of problem solvers. Think of it that way. And white supremacy, all of their solutions to white supremacy involve state intervention. Think about it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Bezic, you want to pull up the Smithsonian infographic on the stream?
That
You have to
sounds
find it on
like
Google
a
Images, 'cause
fantastic
it's-
idea.
Pull it up on Google Images or Bing, because I know for a fact it's not on the website anymore, because a bunch of minorities complained that it was offensive to minorities to suggest that they can't show up on time. Which is pretty
About
funny,
time.
actually.
About
Funny how
time we
that works.
remove
And
the image
accurate.
of Liege Lord Biden, because he's starting to freak me out.
Well, more than he
Lord
already is,
Biden.
isn't
Again, like how his eyes look in that picture is unironically how I see his eyes now. I can't unsee that.
he? Was that that old
I'll
picture
give
of the
you
rally
another
where he
one.
looks like a zombie?
Yeah. Oh,
There was an old picture of him when he was still doing the primaries, and it's the shot of underneath him, like it's looking upward towards him, and he's looking at the sky. And you know that bit in Modern Warfare, in the first one, where the nuclear blast kicks in?
yeah.
It looks like his face is in the middle of that. Like, I'm not even joking. I remember Styx did a video on it because of just the picture alone, because it looked so shocking. It just went, this guy, just look at him and tell me this guy is ready to run a country. He looks like a zombie. He looks like what Bill Clinton looks like now, just soul sucked. Nothing
Okay.
left. He's a husk.
He makes the late Prince of England look alive.
Yeah. All right, here we
He
go.
is just part of
Aspects and
whiteness,
assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. Rugged individualism, family structure, emphasis on the scientific method, history, Protestant work ethic, religion, status, power, and authority. Wow.
And
It
remove
gets-
Protestantism,
America or
remove
freedom.
Protestantism in that, and you could be describing half of the ages.
Future orientation and time. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Well, it's
That's what I'm
also
saying.
it's also weird that they
Hey guys,
describe.
the Yuckamuckamers cannot follow time or create any orientation for future
Yeah.
Well,
goals.
that's
Well,
legit.
it's also
That's not even one of the most offensive ones. Take a look at status, power, and authority. Only white people respect authority, according to the Smithsonian.
Well, if black crime rates are anything to go by, there's an element of truth in that.
yeah, your job is who you are, as opposed to people with their Twitter bios where all they say is BAME, she, her, yuckamuckama, whatever.
Well,
Like-
Trans, non-binary, super, the F flag person. Yes.
well, that's it. Because regardless of your opinion on the value inherent in work, at least you've got to be creating some value in any job. If someone's willing to pay you for something, you must be creating for them at least as much, if not more, value than you are receiving from them. And if you're creating value, that is a moral good. Work is a thick concept. You are creating value. It may be something pathetic like in a call center, but you're creating value for somebody and receiving monetary recompense for that. And if you don't have that value, well, all you are is your 3-letter acronyms.
You have
Well,
to
yeah, I
respect
mean-
people that work in a call
I-
center. Their patience level is insane.
Well, yeah, like work is literally like a thick concept within Christianity, because one of the thickest concepts is that man is created in the image of God. God is the creator, he creates everything. So human beings made in his image are made to create things, to produce things. So
like that.
the participation in that is like something that has a lot of meaning to it. But it is inaccurate that, you know, our society treats your occupation as your identity or worth. Like I can't speak for everyone, but I know that pretty much in any personal relationship I have or witness, like it isn't on the basis of whatever the person's job is. Whatever the person's job is, you know, is interesting. It's an interesting facet of them, but obviously relationships are a lot more personal than that.
I will just put this one out by reading the site that they have just summarized, in my opinion, the ideal person. Optimism, time-based, work ethic, competition spirit. Essentially, and they just go around, oh, this is white supremacy. The poor yuckamuckamers cannot possibly become like this. And wow, that is really goddamn rude.
What I like is
anyone.
in the competition section, be number one, win at all costs, action orientation, winner-loser dichotomy, master and control nature. Okay, let's go have a chat to Usain Bolt and see what he thinks about being number one.
I'm pretty
I
sure,
noticed-
according to these people, Usain Bolt is actually just black-faced.
Well, he's not black.
No, Biden got to the guy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
Biden
it's
sucked the
I
blackness out
think
of him.
that. Yeah. Well, I think when you use the terms white and black, I know I have fallen into this now after listening to Callum talk about it. That when I use the word white and the word black, I'm talking about the way that the left has defined them from the political terms, black and white. But nothing to do with anything to do with what someone looks like. They're purely political descriptors. Someone is black because of the way they have been defined by the left, and someone is white because of the way they have been defined by the left. That's the only thing they are. Because, you know, I'm of Irish heritage, and I found it very, very offensive. Like, one of the reasons why I left Twitter, for example, a few years ago, was after I was being told by a acquaintance I had on Twitter that I was looking at something through my white eyes, and I'm like, I'm Irish. We used to not even be counted amongst like the decent people in a lot of places. You can't. Well, it just it annoys me. So yes. Oh,
Sorry, you're
Have you guys lost
roboting
me?
just a bit, mate. We're trying to follow
Oh,
you.
no, that's okay. No,
But
that's okay.
you are absolutely
I
right.
may-
Well,
Yeah.
Besic's being polite.
Well, summarize,
when he
if you-
says- Well, Besic is being
be
polite when he says roboting just a bit. You know, he's being very polite, which is obviously a very white thing if you look at the very bottom of that graphic.
That's true.
Politeness is
We have
Very
just
white
given
supremacist.
out what we truly are. None of us have the privilege. Oh wait, we all have the privilege, but not the darker privilege of the more melanated individuals, the Biden voters.
I also notice, like, don't discuss personal life. Like, where is that a social rule that like anyone like abides by?
Like maybe
the-
Japan? Certainly no white country
Okay.
I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
What,
I
not to
mean,
discuss
we-
personal issues in an argument?
No,
Well,
no,
it's
no.
a
Not
tactical-
to discuss your personal life in general. I mean, like,
Well, yeah, that's just good manners.
well, I mean, is that even a? Maybe we're misunderstanding what that statement means. But
Yeah,
like,
like
you know,
what do they mean by personal life? Like it's one thing to talk about your partner or and it's another thing entirely to talk about what you do with said partner under the covers of darkness. But
Oh, is that okay? So they're
Hopefully
using
violates
personal
state law.
euphemistically. Yeah, no, I'm fine with the standard of it being generally impolite for a person to talk about what sex toys they use.
yes,
Seems
not
like,
information
Jezza has
I
to
need.
go.
Yep,
Seems
Jazza
like
is
Jezza
heading
has to
off.
go.
He
He's
has to
got 9 hours
do
to have to get up.
work and things. Been lovely having you, Jezza.
Yeah.
We will catch you next time you're available.
Hopefully
Catch
I
you
have
on
my
the
microphone working again.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
We catch you
Cheers,
on the
guys.
bounds, boy. Toodaloo.
No.
I like these people. It
Oh.
just only got quiet here.
Yes, all right. That probably sounds like a natural cutting point to move on to another topic. Who would we like to talk about, space or have a chat about free speech?
I want to go through space a little bit because, space is wonderful.
Yeah, we
Well-
need a white pill.
Yeah.
White
just-
Bill Wednesdays.
They've just isn't that they've just found out there's a supermassive black hole that's larger than a solar system, which is the center of a galaxy, which is again in a center of a galactic cluster. That
Yep.
to me is so badass.
Well, we didn't just discover that. The white pill is in our ability to image it and to actually like
That's
look
it.
at it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
tell-
Because the black hole image has been used before, and I've seen a lot of cultured imagery.
And as a Christian, I have to condemn that cultured imagery, no matter how nice some of it may look.
I have my followers, you have your followers, and
Yes.
I will stand for my cultured approach.
Is black hole Chan a thick concept?
Well,
she is
certainly thick.
Damn, I walked right into that one.
Yep.
I don't have any safe for work pictures of Black Hole Chan. Give me a second, I'll see what I can do. We need to post the glory of this. Give me 2 seconds.
So what was
Funny
it?
how quickly the fucking...
20
Funny how quickly the images pop up.
Yeah, so 2019, we found this, and now, 2 years later, even after the mess that the last year and a half's been, managed to get all these people with all these telescopes together, just looking at how awesome the...
Pasted it in chat. This is the safest work image I managed to find. Really well drawn, actually.
It
And
is
for all watching, yes, I am a man of the highest form of culture.
Indeed. Do you know who the artist of that one is, just so we can create them really quickly? It looks like Prairie Paints. Do they have a URL?
Yes, they do. Piri Paints. That's the name of the artist.
Excellent. And yes, that is about the safest for work thing you can find of that character.
Yes, believe me, I searched. I'm posting it in the chat. What the name is?
We believe you.
Yeah, you've seen the not safe for work section, haven't you? Degeneracy. Ho!
Indeed.
So we're just gonna keep having the awkward silence, or are we gonna keep going?
Well, I think that is one of those things that just shows the sheer capacity of human intelligence and capacity in a way that isn't
yeah,
destructive.
but what about the
There's nothing-
telescope images?
Oh, that's what I was talking about, actually.
Right, Plague.
Oh man. But I mean, yeah,
Capacity for
it
destruction
is a
is equal to
definite
creation.
it is a definite white pill to see that kind of human capacity, kind of alongside our general failures and the degeneration of culture. It is nice to see us actually being able to achieve something truly great, especially since this is kind of a field in which the scientific endeavor does not go awry and cross certain, let's say, human boundaries. This is an entirely ethical pursuit.
It is time for exploration, right?
Yeah.
Because we have these images, we had these a long time ago. They are becoming more beautiful and beautiful with better technology.
That they are.
But I think we are entering in a space age, so it's gonna be awesome. I can't
really
wait
looking
for Elon Musk to send people to Mars, and that will be insane, just like the moon landing.
If you had the
Everyone's gonna
opportunity,
be watching.
if you had the opportunity, would you go?
No, I got
I
shit
don't
to do
know.
on Earth.
Depends on the personal life.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
just depends. If they ask the wrong time, I might sign up.
Actually, if I turn into a cyborg, then yes, I'll go, because that means I can come back afterwards.
Yeah. Well, now the plan is that they will send people, and then they will send them like in 26 months another batch, and then the people from the first batch can come back with that rocket. So it is not a lifetime mission, and we will see what's Elon Musk up to. He wants to get like 1 million people up there.
Also, I want to point out one thing, that rather majestic speech of Second Plague. I mean, you got away with words, but while you also, talked about the wonderful accomplishments of human ingenuity, all that time, I was just looking at the not safe work area, and I was like, I agree. Human capacity for creation and downright fucking disturbing amount of anthropomorphization. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, humans also. The reason this is a white pill is because it is entirely ethical. It's entirely, beautiful.
Yes.
Now, as to your point about the not safe for work chat, I mean, well, in a biblical sense, humans were building the Tower of Babel, and humans did create a golden calf as an icon. So it's very obvious that the human power of creation can also be used in a rather degenerate way, let's say. And honestly, that is what worries me going forward. It is kind of concerning to me, this idea of crossing the last scientific threshold into just manipulating human nature itself on such a fundamental level and breaking down the boundaries and concepts of human identity, which is something that C.S. Lewis was worried about in The Abolition of Man. It's something that's demonstrated in Brave New World when people just kind of become standardized. I'm quite afraid of that because then you will have these pseudo enlightened humans who claim to be enlightened and wish to redesign all future human generations to fit whatever inevitably flawed view they have of perfection.
Yeah,
And at
that's a
that
scary
point,
thought.
the human being itself will be abolished. And when you talk about this, people have a tendency to go, "Oh, you're anti-science. How is this different from opposing industrialization?" And I would say it's different because the fundamental boundary that's being crossed here is
Yeah.
of a completely different kind to every other kind of technological or scientific advancement.
Exactly, because if you think about it, I think we are like max a century away to become immortal, maybe through the means of genetic manipulation, or just melt with the machines. So
Yeah,
it's a completely different thing than the industrial revolution.
yeah, getting rid of old age is kind of one of those things where it's like it sounds very appealing, but then you remember that means like,
Yeah, but it's
oh
the ultimate
yikes,
thing. This is
oh
the ultimate
yikes.
anti-nature thing.
Well, I mean, it does kind of sound nice, but then at the same time, you have to remember that means, oh dear Lord, we're going to be stuck with Hillary Clinton forever.
Well, there's one thing though. If there's one constant in this universe, it is entropy. And eternity is just like with perfection. It's impossible for anyone living to attain it. So we can extend our lives for maybe an insane amount, but in the end, we and everything else will perish. Meaning that sooner or later, Hillary Clinton will go back to the ninth circle and regain her throne. Oh, sorry, did my bias shone through again?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm opposed to life extension, obviously. I mean, even from my Christian worldview, because of entropy, like, the human mortal life will end at some point or another. That's not really the issue to me. The idea of like reprogramming the human being is what is like far more.
No, yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, we can go even further, because all these things that we are talking about are happening only in our dimensions that we are aware. And then when you go even further, like level up, you just meet God, you can go the spiritual way or the
I
religious
am
way.
too sober for this conversation.
Then
Yeah,
go
I was
get
about
yourself
to
a glass
say,
whiskey.
Because
or I was about to say,
transhumanism, what these globalists like Klaus Schwab are trying to, well, yeah, you just know that these old people just want to live forever, and that's their goal. They just want to upload their malicious minds in some supercomputer and extend their lives forever. Because what else did they not accomplish yet?
They want to be Mr. House.
Yeah, let me just put it
Yeah.
like this. If they ever get that whole magic life support thing, I have a feeling that there's going to be some dude somewhere just like, oh, my cup of coffee on the
Yep.
supercomputer.
Well, it could happen. It could happen just a minute from now, because we can be in the simulation. We can be on this higher plane.
I mean, if I start hearing the dun 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 dun, then yeah, we're totally in a simulation.
I think the
Well,
only thing I
do you
can.
guys believe in time travel? Is it possible?
I would thought
Not
time
as
travel would be
Hollywood
something that
puts
you
it.
can scientifically demonstrate. So it wouldn't be a point of belief. It's a point of whether it can be proved.
Apart from the 60 minutes per hour time traveling we are doing right now into the future.
Well, we can travel
Well,
slower through time than the rest of the world, than the rest of the
Yeah.
universe, when
It's
we
relative.
start messing with relativity.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
to be
and-
fair,
and-
we
well,
are
you don't
currently
even-
traveling through
yeah.
time now. I mean,
Well, you
I'm
don't even
in the
have to-
past compared to Spoon. I mean, compared to Bezek.
Well, you don't even have to. You don't even have to
that's
do
just-
it that
time zones
much,
are a
like-
social construct.
Well, it is the case that if you get to a higher altitude on Earth, even time moves either very, 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 very minusculely faster or slower. I can't
Yes.
remember which one it is. But
It's faster.
it's
Gravity
relative.
and speed is what influences time dilation.
Yes. For us, you'd be traveling faster, but for yourself, you'd be traveling slower. And that's actually an issue that our GPS satellites encounter because
Yes,
they have
that's
to
how
be
GPS
so
satellites work.
high. They are to be
That's how they work.
geostationary. They have to do the calculations on their internal
Yeah.
nuclear
They are
clocks,
based
I
because
think.
on
And
the time difference between
yeah,
that's
Right.
because they're traveling to us faster through time.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I just
Or
want
we're
to
traveling faster,
I was,
something.
I think they are because we are because of gravity and they are because of the speed. Yes.
Well,
I was just reminded about a cool thing about black holes. It is a strong theory, but if someone were to fall into a black hole, and when the closer they get, the slower it will go for you, but the more you'll see time out, unless of course you avoid dying horribly from the radiation and the
Well,
gravitational forces.
well, of
If you were
course
to stay
you are
alive
going to.
if you manage to stay alive,
Well,
at least until you reach the event horizon, you would see the
Ah.
entirety of the universe go past you in a blur the closer you got.
exactly.
Yeah.
You reach infinite time dilation and time stops for you when you reach the event horizon.
Well,
It's beautiful.
Well, that's
And
kind of
scary.
like that kind of ties into like a theory for quote faster than light travel. Technically, the speed wouldn't be faster than light, but the amount of distance covered would be kind of. It's the theory of like a warp drive, essentially,
Yeah,
where you would have to use gravity and negative gravity, which we can theoretically conceptualize, but we don't know if that's actually possible to compress space in front of a ship and expand it behind the ship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the theories about what we could do with wormholes. Just pop in one side, pop out somewhere else. Technically, the ship would only be traveling at like idling speed, but because at one moment they'd be in one place and another the next, they'd be theoretically traveling faster than light.
If we ever find a
got the
wormhole,
Stargate
though,
melody playing in my head, and it's beautiful.
if we
Yeah.
ever find a wormhole, though, we need to get Matthew McConaughey to travel through it and yell "Merv,
Yeah.
Merv, Merv" like 100 times. It'll be great.
Wait,
But
was
it
there
would-
a
it would
Disney
be-
movie
it would
called
be
Black
funny.
Hole?
If you just could
I
escape,
think it was called Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. Oh yeah. That's it. No, wait, was it? Is
It could be two
You
different
talking about the
movies.
movie? Event
think it
Horizon is a
actually is
great
Event
movie
Horizon.
about these monsters.
No, wait. Event Horizon is the prequel to Warhammer 40K. The Black Hole is an old Disney movie based on Star Wars. You know, Disney's attempt to take on Star Wars.
That's a thing?
That's a thing. I'll find it.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. It's
Which them
corny.
trying to
it's
transform Star
old.
Wars.
Kinda. It's like it's old, it's corny, but it's freaking beautiful. It also has a lot of Christian
Based.
yes, because at the end, I mean it's an old movie. I can just say what happens, right? Not
Go on.
specifically, but in the end, it turns out that they travel through the black hole, and the villain, or he is the antagonist, he ends up getting thrown into hell. While
Nice.
while the good guys end up finding a special planet, which is said to be the planet of God. So they go through a black hole. You could say they technically die. The bad guy goes to hell, and the good guys go to heaven.
Ooh.
It's that again. It's corny. It's weird, but I still love that movie.
I like it. It sounds, yeah.
It blew my mind when I was a kid. A guy died by getting a mixer through his stomach. Disney.
Oh,
Yeah. Very family friendly, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes, back when Disney still had balls.
I mean, it's actually much better than the crap we get nowadays. It was like, oh hey, look at this. We got want to build a snowman or some shit. Build a snowman. Let's build a snowman.
You
that
having
was
a
pretty good.
stroke?
Preaching.
No, it's just it can sound like a stroke, but it's just me venting the frustrations of my childhood on a soulless fucking
Right. I'm just
organization.
like picturing in South Park Mickey Mouse coming out of the Slave One, like, I ship now! I own the Death Star! I own Endor! Everything is mine! Ha
Oh boy. I mean, I once heard someone imitating Mickey Mouse as a serial killer. How did it go again? I can smell you. Huh? You
Wasn't
can
that
find
C
little
Nanas or
robots, I
something?
know where you are. There we go. That's the guy.
Well, actually, it was one of Nana's friends, or was it Nana's himself? Anyway, something like that.
Yes, it was. And also he
Oh.
did Joker afterwards. And Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
trying to kill me.
Freeman.
I can smell you. Oh fuck, it's wonderful. Let's see.
All right, unless anyone has anything else on that one, shall we move on to free speech?
I have one
Oh,
thing before
first.
free speech. It is just as soon as we get that Stargate thing going, I'm leaving through it to see what's on the other side. And hopefully I won't die horribly, but if I do, it'll be a good way to die anyway.
It'll certainly be
Target
unique.
So
Yes. The first man to die in the fucking wormhole. Trim. Well, at least I die with a lot more dignity than my mythological origins say.
Well, we better not have, like, Justin Trudeau narrate that, otherwise it'll be one small step for person, one giant leap for people kind.
A man
Oh God!
and a woman.
And you just know that if you want to look into it, someone out there has already gone, a men and a women. Oh, that's transphobic.
Of course.
Amen X.
Word soup is so funny, full of joy, makes me
Wimixon.
not want to die. Of course it does. Sorry, that just came out of nowhere.
Wait, who's talking about dying?
Me every now and then.
Why are we dying?
Word soup.
I mean, aside from Joe Biden not knowing what the red button did.
Okay,
You
you
know,
know what? Now that you
which
said it,
come to think of it, is kind of a terrifying idea.
I
Kinda
mean,
wish
you
I
just
didn't say
had
that
to
now.
say it, and now I'm gonna have problems sleeping at night because you
Well,
have
hey,
no idea
don't worry.
how likely
He
that
has
is.
he has to be able to enter the combination to open the briefcase.
Yeah, but what if he just managed to do it out of, share he has an old guy moment. It's like, huh, wow, what's this? Oh, shiny. Boom.
I don't think he has the finger strength to actually press the button.
But what if he absorbs another Yuckamukmur?
It's like Mr. Burns, just without the brains.
Yeah, at least Burns
Yeah.
had brains.
Yes, like Mr. Burns, Joe Biden has also been around since Pangea.
Yeah.
But does he get
Oh.
the same treatment and wander the woods as an alien?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
he gets
he's
to
friends
wander
with
the
people
White
who
House.
want to block out the sun.
I mean, look at Joe Biden's beady eyes. Like, do aliens not already live among us?
I mean,
Lizard people.
I mean, no, that's Zuckerberg. I mean, Biden gave us the whole, demon
All
possession.
of
And
them.
Alex, yeah, it's at least Biden gave us the whole idea that maybe demon possession in a politician is real, and then you'll get Zuckerberg is like the technocracy is controlled by lizard
No,
people.
you're giving Joe Biden too much credit. That was Hillary.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Sorry, one Dem looks like the other to me nowadays.
I mean, if I'm just being real about it, female politicians are far more malevolent.
Absolutely, yes.
You would be right. You would be right, but then I look at my own country, and apparently my country is the only one who has female politicians aren't a bunch of spiteful cunt. This is bad ladies.
Yeah, but your women are a bit different than the rest of Europe, or even the Yanks.
Superior, of course.
Your words, not mine.
When it comes to the Yanks, though, you can tell which women have, like, strong, like, kind of family values, I guess. Like,
Yeah, they're called conservatives.
Well, I mean, even with like let
The
me see.
Democratic ones only use their children to feast on them to keep their own blood young.
But if you look at it,
That or
like the last
transition them
couple of
because they need
years,
it.
the last couple of years, this difference, the looks difference between conservative women and liberal women,
Oh,
it's
God,
just
yeah.
insane. It's gone haywire. It's unbelievable. You can just tell.
I think Tulsi
To be
Gabbard needs
honest-
to become a Republican.
I'm just
Yeah, I
gonna
was
be
gonna
honest,
say
if
I
I'm
was
ever gonna
literally
She
looking.
already is. By
Well, I
today's
was
standards.
literally looking on Wikipedia to see if Tulsi Gabbard has like children. I don't think she does, but like, because she
She
has
is
like
married.
she has like a motherly presence about her that is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually kind of comforting, as opposed to like the whatever the demonic like laughing at uncomfortable questions presence charisma black hole that is like Hillary or Kamala.
I can safely
Yeah.
say I've never looked at her in a motherly way because she was way too attractive.
yeah, I mean, Tulsi
But
Gabbard.
there's-
oh
there's
my
a
God,
reason
she's
she's
totally bang.
kind as hell for a politician. Well done.
Oh lord.
But, that's why
It
she's
is- it is
Sargon's
just
waifu.
unbelievable.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
pretty much.
Did you say that? How have I
Oh,
never
yeah.
heard that?
Yeah, he
He's
did
been
a couple of
simping
times.
for Tulsi ever since she got into politics.
I think it's because he beat the FO the crap out of Kamala Harris in one shot.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I couldn't believe when that
That's
happened. I
amazing.
mean, I knew Kamala was terrible, but she dropped out of the race before it even came to her own state.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but if I was just to look at this from a perspective of just optics, I would just say, why on earth would you pick a woman who dropped out of the race before it even got to her own state? A woman who got smacked the crap down to single-digit approval for the rest of the entire primary race, the whole season.
Well,
Why would
and
they pick
I also
Biden?
find it
It's
kind of
It
interesting.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they pick. They just pick someone, and they
Well,
managed
Yeah.
to pick
Well,
Biden, which is the absolutely
Yes, and then
Well-
they picked her, and then they did some
And then
fuzzy
they-
math with regards to the election.
Yeah.
Well, it is like
It doesn't
I mean,
really
careful, we're
matter.
not trying to get our stream shut down.
I mean, she
It
made
doesn't
Hillary look good.
It doesn't really matter
why
who the Democrats choose, because after all, remember when they sent out that letter saying that the administration didn't agree with what Biden had to say? It
Yeah,
only
that was
matters
kinda
who the
creepy.
administration is.
Yeah, there's a shadow
Well,
government
well,
behind
yeah.
that guy, and everyone knows it.
Well, I mean, it's also kind of funny to me that they picked like Kamala because she's brown because of the whole BLM thing. When it's like if you actually look at the substance of them, she has like the worst record on criminal justice of
Right.
anyone on the primary
L-
stage.
like,
So
How
it's
did-
many life
deeply
sentences has she
ironic.
done?
How
many life
how
sentences
many
have she
black
given?
men has she put in prison unfairly?
Or
Well, we
Biden,
know
for
what-
that matter.
Look, we know what her answer is to that. Her answer is
All of them.
that's her
Like,
answer.
Biden's only claim
That
to
was
fame
fucking
as far as
creepy.
policy goes is the crime bill that put more black men in jail than any other administration. And this is the guy that you vote for if you're a Democrat. Like, I'm sorry, but it gives credence to why many people outside of America looks at American thing. You guys have a lot of stupid people. Because this is the stupid crap you vote for, and it's bad when foreigners can look at that and go, how in the hell do you fall for this over and over again? Like, do you not look at your Democratic politicians for like the better part of 50 years and go, what in the hell have they actually done for your community other than destroy it? Why are you
Funny thing
repeatedly
is-
voting for this?
The funny thing is
concept of
that the
representation.
progressives just are so sure of themselves that these Trump years, that America was the embarrassment for the
Oh
world.
my
That's-
God, yes.
They are
And it's-
idiots. Unbelievable. They don't see past their nose. It's insane.
It's also like
Absolutely no self-awareness.
And as the
The
last
entire
election
framing of
proved,
that-
they'll cut their nose off to spite the rest of their face.
And
I
everyone
mean-
else's as well.
Well, it's also the entire framing of that is just so backwards. Well, America has got to change. We are an embarrassment in the eyes of the Europeans. It's like, Who gives a shit, Biden? That's not
Why
the
would
purpose
you
of
give
the
a
American
shit about
government.
Europeans? You're
Yeah,
Americans.
Exactly.
the goal of the American government is to satisfy and represent the interests of its own people, not to like go to cocktail
interest.
parties with European diplomats or whatever.
Yeah,
On-
but
on that-
you know,
on
it's
that
all about
note-
perception.
Yeah,
It's
on
all
that
about
note,
perception
in
because
Australia, our media
Okay.
actually came out and said that Trump was a horrible racist because he was putting Americans first. Hold on a second. What the hell do you think the American president's supposed to do?
He's supposed to take 2 stacks from China and do what Winnie the Pooh wants him to do.
By that logic, what do they think Obama did?
Oh, but he was the right color.
Yeah, he was the good one.
Yeah, he was the right color, but the wrong creed.
I see
That's
what
a
you did
reference.
there. Yeah, I see what you did there, Trim.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, America,
I hope
dear
to God
God.
there's no one who joins this podcast called Thor, because then I might just start to have to make sure there's no one cross-dressing near me.
What, Thor?
I
You
feel
mean
like I'm gonna
Jane
need some
Foster?
context for that.
What did you just say?
I said, wait, Thor? You mean Jane Foster?
Here's a question for you:
Ah,
how
God.
long before Kamala gets sworn in?
Okay.
Again, it is going to be at least, unless Joe Biden like actually
Like a
dies,
year.
it's going to be no, it's going to be after the midterms. Like they need the optics of Joe Biden.
Like the
to-
day
Oh,
after
that's
the
soon, that's
midterms,
soon.
he's going
Yeah.
to step down or
I
have
mean,
an accident.
They're
In the
dumb,
stairs
but they're
again, of
not.
course.
Come on, guys. He's going to commit suicide.
No,
Yeah.
actually, now
Don't you
now that
don't
I
you
think
guys know
about
how
it,
this works?
Is he going to
Now
hang
I
himself
know.
by his tie from the wardrobe or something?
No, he's gonna hang
He's
himself.
gonna shoot
using
himself in
toilet
the back
paper.
12 times.
Yeah, or get an ice pick in the back of the head too. I've heard that's really,
Nah, he's
really happening a lot. these days.
he's not gonna get Clinton.
Well,
You sure?
Kamala will
yeah,
pick
no,
Hillary as vice president. Just
I
like
think-
a fuck you to everyone.
I think what will happen is after the midterms, the Republicans will crush and clean house. And then I think he's going to look bad, and then it's going to be, oh, Kamala will do a better job, and she would
yeah,
likely step
yeah.
in. That
Yeah,
would
I
be
could-
an
Sounds logical.
optics. Yeah.
I could see that. Although now that we've made the joke about people getting Clinton, just watch as like the whatever the line appears beneath the podcast video that's like the Associated Press has confirmed that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
Which no one believes.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard some
mean-
stories that he's still alive.
Do you think Ghislaine Maxwell is gonna go too?
Oh man.
Mm. I can't
Well-
believe he's still alive, actually.
Honestly,
I can't. Stranger
I
things
don't
have
know.
happened.
Well, you have a point, but that's not my kind of favorite conspiracy theory.
you know,
I mean,
Yeah.
has Alex Jones said it yet? Unless Alex Jones says it or endorses it, it's still a theory. When Alex Jones actually endorses it, we know it's going to happen sooner or later.
Yep.
No,
it's actually
my favorite
the-
conspiracy is Caitlyn Jenner becomes the governor of California and cleans it up. That'll be the funniest thing. Oh, the memes. Oh my god, the memes would
If
be the
that
funniest
happens,
thing.
I will be so happy.
Oh my
Please,
God.
Jenner, leave.
It would
be
it
the
would be
base tranny we want.
it would be look, Republicans, we even do transgenders better than the Democrats.
Yeah. We
That
need her.
oh my god, it'll be glorious. It'll be so I will go on a
Yes.
memeing spree happily.
Yes, we,
You mean-
we do transgenders better than the Democrats. I'm a conservative.
5 years
Oh,
in
love
the
it.
future.
I believe that men should not be allowed to punch women in the face in sporting competitions and get away with it because I'm a conservative.
and also transgender.
Oh.
I mean that
Okay,
just
I
that just
really
goes to show
started-
you though that
mean-
go on.
Just to say that the start with the Caitlyn Jenner was kind of rough. I will admit. I mean, driving
Freak
over
show.
a pedestrian and then just driving away. It's not a good way to start. Anything. But then
That's a
she
perfect
just,
way to start it. You're a woman now. You're supposed to suck at driving.
oh yeah, nailed it.
And
Well
then I
done.
fixed myself in the other way around.
Actually, it's a perfect way to start it. You're right. So now she only grows on me. She started well, and now she only grows on me. Actually, so yeah, she makes actually. This is a hot take, but I think Caitlyn Jenner is a lot more attractive than Hillary Clinton.
That's not
Wait,
saying
did
much
that
though.
accident-
That really
did
doesn't
that
say
accident
much.
happen?
That's a low bar. I
Did
will
the,
say I like that they make that she makes the left look really hypocritical.
Oh
It's like
wait,
this should be
they do that
the
before?
avatar of all of your ideals embodied. But the second that she says something that you idiots don't agree with, suddenly you give a crap. So you don't give a rat's ass about the diversity. You care about diversity of appearance, but diversity of thought, you are not in favor of that at all.
You make the left's hypocrisy. You make the left's hypocrisy sound like a surprise.
Well, not really, but it's
Well,
more in
a
the case
lot-
of it's
a
more
lot
obvious.
These days, a lot of people, somehow it's still catching them by surprise after the last 80 years of this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think after reading Moldbug, I'm kind of realizing how pervasive it really is.
Yeah.
When did that accident happen, guys?
His manifesto that shan't be named,
Was it?
which I can't name on stream, but it's surprisingly based. It's
I mean,
accurate criticism.
if it wasn't for the naughty
Unified.
actions he did later, I mean,
she
that'd be a
was
pretty good
unified
document.
ideal.
I mean, I should be able to say it. It's on YouTube
With a lot of views.
Under the right
under the
people.
name. Yeah,
Yeah, under
Yeah.
the right people too, and we're not the right people.
yeah.
We need to be a little more left compared to Mao first.
That's no, that's genocide enough as it is.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Black Hitler Speaks showed that you just have to be to the very far left, and then you can start shit talking Aunt Frank.
Yeah.
Oof.
Build
Like,
map.
how could that's got to be the worst take you can have? Anne Frank was a bad person. No.
I mean, it
Jesus
doesn't really
Christ.
surprise me considering the
Jesus.
person who fucking said it, though. I mean, are we really surprised that that individual, quotation marks, really?
How
Have
sure we
any
know
other
that they know who
opinion?
Anne Frank even was?
Yeah.
Because I suspect they don't. Considering how much they call everyone who disagrees with them Nazis, I wouldn't be surprised if they have no fucking clue.
The irony of Hitler calling anyone Nazis. Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I said this before in my earlier point is that the left has a almost sheer force of will argument when it comes to policies. That I remember that Hitler would speak to his generals in a way that made them think that the war is winnable, and it was sheer force of will. And the Democrats adopt policy proposals with the same idea. They think, oh, we shall just adopt this, and this will be the result of the policies. And because they don't speak to anyone else outside of that bubble, the media can just tell them that the failure of the policy is everybody else's fault. And because they don't talk to anyone else, they'll actually be gullible enough to believe that stupid crap.
Is it my fault? No, it must be the voters who are out of touch.
Yes, this is literally how they
Literally,
think.
yeah. Literally the South Park meme. It's scary.
And then you realize the entire corporate machine is manufactured on this, and it runs on the taxpayer's dime. It is amazing how these people, function, frankly, and it's amazing how the Democrats aren't in a state of constant civil war. Because
How does it feel
my
knowing
lord,
that your well-earned money goes to supporting these people?
yes, exactly. See, what the hell? How do you think this is efficient government? It's mind-boggling. You can instantly sum up why the Democrats suck in under a minute. Hell, I did it earlier. I did half of it just now.
Wonderful.
It's like, man, I'm not saying the Republicans are any bad. I've actually said this before. I think in America now there's three political alignments, shall we say. There's the AOC type, the crazies on the left-hand side. You've got the base Republicans, and then you have this middle ground, where it's supposed to be Democrats and Republicans, but they're not. They're just corporatists. The corporatists will buy whoever is left or right. They don't give a rat's ass. So you've got those three competing factions against each other. And you've got kind of fractions between the left and the right in certain states, but federally it is just the one coin with the two faces. And I fear how that is going to go down, because the Democrats their schism is going out of control, and there's nothing truthful in their movement. It's just more crazy. Whereas the Republicans, they've got Trumpism, which is actually effective, hence the last 4 years of good economic growth, jobs, and power production. So they have a stable conclusion of current state of the rhinos, you're shite, get the hell out of the way, we've got an effective manager. Whereas with the Democrats, they have none of that. Like, all of their policies is just chaos, as you can see with Joe Biden's utter incompetence as a president. So where that ultimately goes is a bit more worrying. Because I thought of, this is more of a, I won't say worst case scenario, but, and it's ridiculous, it's never going to happen, but the only way I thought that would resolve itself if it keeps going down the road is you will have a East versus West Germany kind of split. You'll have crazy commies on the one side and the Weimar, or new version 2 of it on the one side. Weimar 2.0 would be the Republicans, the commie else would be, well, the left, and it will fracture somewhere down the middle. I highly doubt that will happen, but that could be a potential scenario.
So what you're saying is a two-state solution.
Yeah, I hope not. It's not a final solution anyway. Anyway.
Oh.
I mean, this final solution doesn't involve the genocide of one particular group, so...
No, but
at least I hope not.
It will lead to an unintentional genocide of several other groups.
It might.
Well, anytime communists are in charge, there's an accidental genocide of anyone who likes food.
Yeah, unless you're young.
But that's like an unfortunate byproduct. It's not really an MO. It's not, hey, we should just starve everyone that doesn't agree with the regime. I mean, that's how it always ended up. But this is why communism always fails. And this is funnily why there is an element of truth to the people who say real communism has never been tried. That is true, because the opening stage of communism is to dilute the system and there's no hierarchies. Well, we've always had a hierarchy because individuals are not strong on their own, and together they can accomplish more goals together than they would on their own, naturally. And that's the natural state of people when they make a society. So you are never going to get even step 1 of commie-formia going. So as a result, it has never been tried because the first step is already unachievable.
Well, obviously, hierarchies trace back all the way to the lobster. So what do we do about that? We can't get rid of it. It's not a construct of Western capitalism.
I still say you need to make the end sentence sound lower.
This visitation by Jordan Peterson has been sponsored by Hydra. Hail Hydra.
And Red Skull Red Bull.
I hear it's pretty good.
Ooh, no, his energy drink should be Red Skull Monster. Because that actually sounds pretty good.
Does that include the fanboys?
You have to realize that you have the capacity to be a monster and integrate that.
He did say that in one podcast. I think it was Joe Rogan's one where he said that.
He said that. He said that plenty of times.
I do like when he makes people seem stupid without really putting any effort in.
They just sit there.
Australian feminists.
Considering the people he speaks to, that isn't really surprising to me.
No, I think the most beautiful example of this was in his just thorough and systematic takedown of Bill C-16 in the Canadian Parliament. Or is it a parliament? I don't fucking know.
I think they've got a parliament.
Whatever, look it up on YouTube, anyone who's watching, because it is truly amazing. Yeah. He just demolishes the legislation on every level imaginable. And the Canadian senators are stuck looking like total idiots.
But they still passed it, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
God, I feel sorry for every single
These
Canadian
power structures.
Liquid, if you're watching this, I feel sorry for you, bro.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's got to be hard enough living as a Canadian with a bifurcated head.
All right, so as a very unsubtle turning point, speaking of Jordan Peterson and how people like to deplatform him, seems like he'll have a lot easier time if he goes to the UK, if he's ever allowed into the country.
Can't imagine why it wouldn't be.
Well, COVID, but
Of course.
Oh, who cares about COVID?
apparently
I stopped caring
politicians.
about COVID.
Yeah, politicians
well-
only want to use COVID as a wedge issue to gain power. And let's be brutally honest, anyone who disagrees with me is an idiot, and you're wrong.
Well,
I
that's
will
the
literally
dirty-
go. I will literally go on a 5-minute rant about why masks are useless, and I'll actually give you good points as to why.
My liberal values says that masks are a good thing. Okay.
Well,
Well, it's actually kind of amazing
Since-
because Joe Biden, it's the dirty little secret in the U.S., right? That like nobody actually takes the guidelines fully seriously. Like if you
No
like
one
a couple,
does.
well, yeah, a
Dirty
couple.
little secret for
unfortunately,
America, I
we
think you
are
summoned
stuck on
everyone.
YouTube, so we might move away from our opinions on mask effectiveness.
Oh yes.
Well, I'm not. I'm not.
That was
even-
a
I'm
joke.
not
This
even-
was a joke. This was in Minecraft.
Yes, it was
everybody.
all
Yes.
a joke,
Yes.
but well, this is the dirty little secret though,
Sellouts. I'm not
because
going
Joe
to cut
Biden,
to this.
Joe Biden,
It is
well, no,
ineffective,
well-
and screw all of you who disagree.
Well, Joe Biden was like a month ago or so. Oh well, if everyone starts getting vaccinated and we're well behaved, you can get together in small groups of people on the 4th of July. It's like, Joe, people have been getting together in small groups already without masks. Like everyone I know
For
like,
months
does
on end,
that.
yeah.
Well, base
You know, they
Florida
can be
man
the
says,
most-
"Fuck you, we're open now. Get bent."
Yeah, well, they can be the
Oh, that
most
guy.
like progressive person. They can simp for Biden. They can even be like a nurse or somebody who's undergoing medical training. I know plenty of people like that who did vote for the Democrats, and even they will like meet with their close friends like in small groups without masks on. We've been doing that basically since the summer. Like it's
Wait, so they do other things than making fucking TikTok videos?
Allegedly.
Apparently.
uh,
I want to ask a question though. As far as the effectiveness, I'm not saying they're not effective. Yes, I am. What I'm trying to say is this. Okay, so
Oh.
no, I can actually say this because I've heard Brett Weinstein make the case that the coronavirus in the sunshine is basically dead, which is why in the summer you have virtually no cases. Right now,
Yeah.
this is the case. In the summer, you have less mask wearing because it's out inside. People don't want to wear the bloody thing because it's warm. You have more gatherings and more people are out and about because it's warmer and it's nice and people actually like to meet outside for the weather. So more interaction, less mask, larger groups of people. You have virtually no cases. In the winter, you have the exact opposite. You have less people, more mask wearing, and there's less gatherings because it's cold. And you have more cases. So if the masks are effective, why in the hell do you have more cases and less people?
You make a good point, but Susan, just so you know, just because you force us to, I have to disavow.
yes,
it is-
disavow, totally disavow.
It is a good question that nobody wants to seem to answer. I wonder why that is.
Yes,
A
I
very
wonder.
good question. Hmm.
I'm just saying. I know the real answer. Everyone knows what you fucking say it, but everyone knows it. Or my other reason that I think, and this is just me going off tangent, and I've said this before, that how many people, as far as the mask wearing goes, know the different types of masks, wear it incorrectly, wear the same mask day in, day out, put it in their pocket, put it in their car, in their house, and take it off and on with all the finesse of a drunk trying to hold on to a freshly poured pint. And if this is in fact how the
Describe me.
it might be, but if this is how the vast majority of people behave, and if you look at people coming out of a shop, you will notice it is. What in the hell is the efficacy of your policies in the bloody first place? And if it doesn't spread, because asymptomatic people do not spread the fucking virus, there's no point wearing it in the first place either.
Yeah, pretty much. But also,
Congratulations, I have made all cases for mask wearing obsolete in the space of 5 minutes. I am God. Someone give me a medal.
Also,
Saying
this now because I have.
Yes, we'll give him the comedy medal for like the best.
No. What we'll do,
parody, right?
what we'll do is we'll find an independent, in big quotation marks, organization for truth and accuracy, and then they can give him the medal. You know, just like YouTube does when they
There
want
we
to
go.
give people free speech awards.
I would like to. I would like to say if I could get one institution to give me that award, I'd like it to be the Hoover Institution. I'm big fans of the Hoover Institution.
Okay, when I
Good
say
people.
Hoover, I'm thinking of
Vacuums.
Hoover duster. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm a plebeian. Deal with it.
It's gonna be like YouTube. They're gonna suck away my opinion. Screw you, people.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, literally. But
I regret no puns. Just so that it warrants anyone.
I've never been able to ask a group of people like just those two questions about this is if you look at mask wearing during this magical period called seasons, you'll find a disparity between the two times of the year. And then as far as the efficiency goes between the so-called trade-off, as Thomas Sowell likes to say, with the mask wearing. And you will see that it's bull. Like, you just look at it. On face value, you're going to analyze it and it's just shit.
Tracking seasons
the
is
Ministry of
an
Truth.
example of white culture anyway, so it's clearly all just racism.
That too,
Tracking
and also
seasons?
the Ministry of Truth will suddenly start rewriting the fact that we've always had heavy corona times and influenzas during the summer.
I mean, winter.
No, summer too, because we need
Well, we
to wear
have, but
masks in
it's
summer.
oh hell, you get the hell out of here.
We've always been at war with the virus.
Always.
If by virus you mean government intervention, yes, we have definitely always been at war with that one. At least for the last 60 years, when actually
You
probably a
call
bit
it
more.
a virus? I just call it cancer.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, actually, one kills you, and the other one just ruins you from the inside. And then kills you.
Okay, well, consider it's a disease. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's still
Yes.
cancer.
A pus-filled
But,
boil on the arse.
But yes, that is that is my opinion on the mask wearing, or as I call it,
The
I can find a
muslin.
creative way to say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I like to call it the symbol of obedience.
Yep,
Or the
a
lack
muzzle.
of thought. Yeah.
Or what about the Jacob Star? No, David Star. Sorry. What?
I would rather wear that one on my sleeve.
Actually, it's stylish. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
to protect the vaccinated people, the government will have to give maybe a yellow star to everyone who isn't vaccinated, so people know to stay away.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
I hear it's in the form of a card.
I wonder if they realize the vast majority of people won't actually give a crap whether or not you're vaccinated.
Don't ruin it for them. They actually
Because
think
I can
you care.
guarantee you, if I look at someone who isn't vaccinated, my first response would not be, I have to avoid them. My first response would be, base person, hang out with them because they're cool and sane.
Yeah.
It's the same with the mask.
The lepers. We must force the lepers out of society.
Like I've said this before with the mask wearing thing is on the actual case for the mask wearing, it actually on the packaging it says this will not protect you from COVID. And the vast majority of people, it literally says that on the package. And if that tells me the people who wear it outside. Okay, if you
Their fucking car.
okay, oh my god, don't get me started. But the people who wear it then, unless you don't know that it doesn't protect you from jack shit, I mean, you're outside, you don't need to wear it in the first place.
Well,
But if that is
it
what
does
you
protect
think-
you from the actual. It does protect you from the danger, though. It protects you from the police.
I don't think it does that
the
either.
Heavy and the wonderful, of course, totally justified fine of 500 to 2,000
Well,
euros.
it's also like I'm actually vaccinated, so it's like if I see an unvaccinated person, like, what do I give a shit? I'm vaccinated. Do vaccinations work or do they not work? I'm vaccinated. I don't give a fuck. Like,
We'll have to ask. We'll have to ask Dr. Fauci what his opinion is this week. It might have changed since the last time we heard from him.
His opinion is, what can I say to get more money?
Give us vaccines.
Oh,
Help
it's
all
been-
the people who have been.
oh God, I
quarantined.
regret it. I
Don't
regret
do
it.
it.
No,
I regret
no.
everything. God, I'm sorry. I regret everything. I swear, I will convert to God and Jesus. Just don't keep singing. I made a mistake. Please.
But put it this way: if you wear masks outside and it is to protect other people from you, doesn't that mean I should stay away from you?
Good point.
Well, I tend to stay away from people that wear masks.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that was my initial thought.
that-
Is
there's-
it
there's
doesn't
like
protect you from anyone else. It doesn't protect anyone else from you. Just you from everyone else. So if you wear a mask, presumably it means you have corona. Stay the hell away.
Well,
Am I
there's
the
like
only
a
one that
dozen
sees that that's
people.
just rational?
Yeah, there's like a dozen people in Australia with the virus anyway, and that's like official government statistics, and they're all in
Yeah, therefore
quarantine.
your whole state has to
Like-
shut down.
Like, what am I supposed to be scared of exactly if there's a dozen people in the country with it?
Yeah, in a state of how many millions of people?
Well,
What are
like,
you talking
there's
about,
Sorry.
Besek?
there's
We-
more
we now-
people that
there's
have
12
AIDS than
people
that,
with
and that
COVID.
doesn't count.
It's 12 people with COVID, Besek. We need to shut down all of the country. A small continent must be shut down.
Yeah, I don't know how people don't see that is an overkill of an utterly insane response.
It's an overkill of black hole proportions.
Like if someone just said, "Hey, there's some
Hold
coronavirus. There's two
No need to
people in
bring
4
Cardi
million.
B's WAP into this.
sorry.
Can we just chuck all coronavirus patients into the black hole and then it will disappear?"
But
Into Cardi B?
I mean,
Yes.
she is big, but that big?
I'll just bring
I mean,
over the statistics for my state. 3 new cases in the last 24 hours. Gee, I wonder how many of those are community transmission. I bet the answer's none.
Also, how many of them are actually positive?
I'm
We've
not
had
sensitive. What?
1,583 total cases since March 2020.
Yeah,
Oh.
but the point I'm trying to make is, if somebody tests positive, it just means that they've tested positive through the test. It doesn't mean they're even sick. They could be asymptomatic with
Yeah.
remnants of the virus. It could mean they go home that day after they took the test and fuck all happens. It doesn't mean it's a hospitalized case.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
what drives
like-
me nuts. If people see there's 400 new cases, but there could be 200 of them could test a fucking Coke can and test
Well,
positive. It doesn't mean
let-
shit.
Let's have a look at the statistics. And YouTube, these are government statistics on the official government website. Look, if I scroll all the way up, it has the government logo and everything. Let's have a look at the likely source of infection. Okay, total cases,
And
1,500.
in the background, rabid Susan Wojcicki noises.
Yes, so total cases in my state since March 2020, 1,583. How many acquired from overseas acquired? 1,255. Under 400 cases acquired in the community in my state. And yet,
That is
every
last year.
time someone, since March 2020, and every time somebody sneezes and it scares the government, we shut down half the damn state.
And your government getting scared, isn't
Unbelievable.
that basically you just show them a picture of something black and scary out like a gun or a toy gun? And then
Yeah.
Or Cardi B.
Well, definitely her. What?
All you need to do is show the government a bright pink, red, orange tipped airsoft rifle, and they'll run screaming into the hills because it's a deadly weapon, according to law.
Your country disappoints me. I mean, at least Biden has the benefit of being a malicious individual when it comes to his own bullshit, but
I think
your
he's more
country,
incompetent.
your country has just sheer incompetence. And to be honest, it's worse to have someone who is incompetent instead of malicious.
Yep.
Is
Would you agree?
Cases by hospital and health service. Look at this is where the cases are identified. The maximum is 350 in one tiny area of the state.
What?
And yet, like, we've had less than 400 cases acquired in Queensland.
Oh,
Every other case that they count as a COVID case that's an excuse to shut the country down has come in on a plane from overseas.
Yeah, that's
Also,
something that
like-
I
And
I don't
and
get.
again,
how
you-
many deaths? How many deaths? Did anyone die of COVID in Australia even?
Let me find
And how
out.
many of them are
Well,
members of
also,
the CCP?
Here we go. Here we go.
Australia ought to
Here we
have
go.
bigger balls than that, considering everything over there is already trying to kill them anyways.
Right,
What's
here
an
we go.
added virus on
Yeah.
top of that?
Here we go. Here we go, guys. And again, YouTube, official government statistics. Look them up yourself. It's all true. No, 7
Jeez.
since March 2020.
Jesus Christ.
Kidding me.
What?
Jesus Christ.
7 deaths. Oh, was it 7 deaths with? Or
I bet
without?
more people have been eaten by dingoes than 7.
I'm sure more people have died of, I don't know, what's a rare disease?
Tasmanian
Malaria.
devil.
Yeah, that's quite common.
This
Well,
is
not in
insane.
civilized countries.
Moving along. I'm
Well,
not saying
well.
anything.
Okay.
I would have
okay.
said being boxed
So,
by a kangaroo.
let me tell you what 7 into 1,583 is. And again, YouTube, official government statistics, 0.0044.
Jesus.
And that's
And that's not even.
for cases.
And that's so almost.
Oh boy.
So more than a year, you've had 4 deaths,
7 deaths.
7 deaths, and that's presumably died with COVID, not even from COVID.
Correct.
So they could die from completely anything. They were just
probably.
because I wanted to ask this because over here in Ireland, I saw a picture or a video, sorry, of 2 guys in the I think it was in a door, which is like the Congress over here in Ireland. And the one guy was asking, I think it was the Minister of Health, and asked him, how is COVID cases recorded? And he said, so if you're in hospital for any reason whatsoever and you test positive for a COVID case, you're listed as a COVID patient. He went, yes. And if somebody dies for any reason whatsoever and they're testing positive within a certain number of days, you're listed as a COVID death. He went, yes. And he just looked at him like, do you realize how insanely disproportionate this makes your death look, you fucking imbecile?
Well, here's the real test for progressives. Is George Floyd listed under the COVID death statistics?
Probably.
No,
Well, I
he was
do
the
hear that
only he was the only person with COVID who didn't die from it in America, remember?
Oh, he's
Oh,
listed
yeah,
as a
yeah, yeah,
Chauvin
right.
death, not a COVID death.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But I hear that COVID has this magnetic ability on knees of people. Suddenly you just walk around, you have COVID, and suddenly knee in the neck.
It is criminal that guy
Yeah.
went through.
Well,
It's
everybody
insane.
knows that he didn't die of Chauvin, but with Chauvin.
Well, the thing is, even if you
I want to
think-
get that on a shirt because that's a good line. I imagine I'd piss off so many people, but that's pretty funny.
I'm writing
Yep.
that down.
Well, here's the thing, like, you know, even the people who like think that Chauvin is like completely guilty of everything, the dude still needs like a retrial. Like that
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
juror,
Just
Oh, yeah.
like being
insane.
so obviously
this is-
biased and making very strong comments about the case before it ever even went to court is like,
I don't
that
have
on
any
its own.
affiliation with Black Lives Matter, but here's a photo of me 8 months ago with a Black Lives Matter T-shirt on, like, and a hat as well. I totally have no bias. Like, fuck out of here.
Well, it has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt.
That's a pretty good.
That's the one line that matters. It wasn't.
Beyond a
There
reasonable
was a lot
doubt,
of doubt.
I can see it. Yeah.
There's a lot of doubt.
Oh,
This
here's-
guy had 4 times the fentanyl enough to kill a human being. And he
Come
was
on, guys,
shouting,
you
I
know-
can't
you
breathe,
know-
before he was on the ground, for heaven's sakes. That to me would have instantly gone, he's not guilty, get the hell out of here. This is a dumb
Come
court
on,
case.
guys. We all know that the more fentanyl you take, the more you make a resistance. It's like an RPG. The more you slap a boar, the more XP you grind, right?
This
Well,
is
it's
not
like-
an this is not an induction of skooma or something, for heaven's sakes. By the way, if you
Well,
get that reference, well done.
well, it's like Princess
Like
Bride though.
American meat.
He's developed an immunity to fentanyl powder.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a
Immunity
lovely
to breathing properly, maybe.
here's a lovely graph. So, let's see. We hit 1,000 COVID cases. Call it mid-April 2020.
How many?
1,000 cases mid-April 2020. We are now up to just under 1,600.
And what's Australia's population?
Lovely.
This is specifically my state, but I'm
How
pretty
many
sure
people
it's
has your
a bit
state?
more than that. Let's have a look.
What's the population of your state?
Yeah.
Just looking that up. Let's see.
Hey guys, you've seen the series Scrubs, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Cox, whenever he gets frustrated enough, he takes the foldable decks and smashes in his head. That's me
Yeah.
sometimes talk about this shit.
Okay.
Oh, where he just goes away and just whacks it against his head repeatedly.
So my
Yes.
state's population is 5,184,000.
So
And
roughly
in
Ireland's population.
Wait,
Yep.
how many?
and
is that?
in a 5,184,000.
That's as much as Norway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my
600
and my,
cases
and my state
in a
is
year.
bigger than Texas.
What?
Jeez.
Damn.
You hear that, Texans?
Oh,
You
but
get
how much of that is
fat,
is livable land? I mean, are you guys quite dispersed or?
It is Australia. There's nothing livable there.
We're
It'll try to kill
basically
me.
spread up and down the,
outback and the
the
beaches.
coastline, but most people live in like one small area. But still, my state,
Well, there you go.
I do get to say that my state, which is the second largest in Australia, is bigger than both Texas and Alaska.
You hear that, Texans and Alaskans? You got a
Yeah.
smaller penis.
Yeah, but we have guns in Texas, so
Yeah, sad face.
Oh yeah, you got the thing called the Second Amendment. Gee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So I'd like to have some of those. So yeah, the point I was getting at, 16th of April, it is now May again. So in a year, we have had less than 600 cases.
State of
Sounds
5 million.
amazing.
Yep. Yep. And
How many deaths of these 7 deaths? How many were they in the last year?
I bet I can't find that.
Probably in the first wave, and then nobody died.
We're
Yep.
talking about the feminist wave here, or what?
oh man, I love that. You can actually talk about it like a disease. Well, the first wave of feminism.
But isn't it a disease? I
It
heard it was
is.
a environmental disease back in the
It's
day.
cancer.
It's fucking cancer.
Yeah, Milo. Feminism
Yeah,
is
that
cancer.
was
Thank you
Milo.
very much.
Oh god, I miss the Gamergate days, for fuck's sake.
And
How bad is
so,
somebody actually miss that shit?
so we've had 600 cases over the last 13 months. And you remember how we like to lock down with only 3 cases at a time?
Yes.
The population of the state capital is 3.8 million.
Hmm.
So 3 people get COVID, 3.8 million people get lockdown. Slightly
completely
disproportionate.
That is completely logical, don't you see? Oh my god. How vibrant.
Yes. How
I'll be honest.
vibrant.
I'm just more shocked by the amount of humans who go along with this, who doesn't just look at this and then go, "This is bullshit." Like, how the hell is the
I'm just gonna
state?
be honest. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. The only reason I'm fucking following this crap is because I have something called debts, and I can't afford to pay my ass out in bills.
And just to
Because-
confirm,
Yeah.
on the deaths, information about the death of a case with COVID-19.
Okay.
So even counting
Yes,
cases
it's not even from.
with, it's 7.
7. What?
So you could
So-
actually have cases that have nothing to do with COVID whatsoever.
Quite possibly.
I hear a noise in the background here. Let's see. What's it called?
It's the sound of a salmon screaming.
Bullshit. Yes, bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah, bullshit.
I just thought it was bloody nonsense from the freaking get-go, just by the fact that I saw clips coming out of China and people falling on the ground flopping like fish. I went like, "There's no way that's real. That's bollocks."
Absolutely.
Wait, what was that? Who mentioned China?
You mentioned
Me.
China. Now I'm angry. We gotta talk later.
But yes,
God,
there are
ridiculous.
currently 18 cases in a state with a population of, what was it again? 5 point something
5 billion?
million?
5 million.
Yep.
Yeah,
Everybody
So,
was
and
fine
we
flu.
still have
5
reduced capacities everywhere, and the government has rolled out a new app so that every time you go somewhere you can check in and let them know in case one of those 18 cases breaks out of hospital and gets you.
I don't
Big
know who is
Brother
stupid
loves
enough to
you.
do that. Hey, look, let's let the government track me. Why the
Brother
hell
loves
would you
you.
do that?
Because Big Brother loves you. He
I'm
loves you so
I'm sorry,
much.
but
It loves your
you
votes.
need it. Most Australians, despite the fact that we live in one of the most dangerous natural environments on the goddamn planet, most Australians are cowardly fucking sheep.
Well, you have a point there.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem in every country.
Hell,
That's
I
most
grew up on a
people.
sheep farm, and they aren't just cowardly, they're fucking retarded.
Yeah, most Australians seem to fall under that as well.
Yeah. Now we got nostalgic.
Oh
I kinda
damn!
miss
Well,
those farm
no
life.
wonder Jesus is like humanity's shepherd, because I feel like that's kind of how God looks at things.
Yeah, I mean, the Jesus pill keeps growing.
Yes, it
I feel
does.
terrified by the amount of old people who get jumped into this as well. I know there's I think it was in France, the lady was like 101, she got it, and she was fine in like 3 days.
Great.
It's
Yeah.
almost like she probably didn't have 4 or more comorbidities.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was 101 years old. She's technically in a so-called dangerous bracket. I say dangerous. I think I don't know if there's any age bracket where you are a likely fatality that is over 10% in any age range.
Okay, and now let's also have a look at the number of COVID-19 cases in people over 80. 20.
That's it.
20.
Yes.
20. 20. Just
Since
20.
March
When-
2020, 20 people over the age of 80 have had COVID.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect reason to fucking close the whole country and
So that's
know,
basically
become authoritarian assholes.
most of the people over 80 in your whole state, probably.
Jesus fucking Christ. Now we're here, can I just mention something that pisses me off about my own country? Aside from God knows all those fucking taxes.
Which is
We have this wonderful woman in leading this wonderful country.
Of course you do.
I was serious. My country is wonderful, but our prime minister is a bit of a Europhile, a bit of a centrist. She loves centralization. I don't. She have been instrumental in making you can't go to your cabin at this and this hour. You can't go there. You can't do this. You're not allowed
Why?
to do this. I don't know. I guess she's having a power trip or something. And then, of course, there's this rule during Easter is you cannot travel to your cabin. And then you have later, you can't have too many or large celebrations. What happens? She goes on a goddamn celebration.
Of course, because it's all nonsense. None
think
of
it
these
was
rules
a-
matter.
I think it was a family gathering or some kind of birthday thing.
Wait, are we talking about your prime minister who didn't actually end up going to the party?
Really? No, this was something
Oh,
else.
this is a different event. I'm sorry. We haven't
Yes.
gone to that one yet.
Oh shit! It wasn't the prime minister. Now this was. Oh, now it derped. It's a bit too late. There's this one minister who is responsible. Oh shit! I forgot the name. Now I completely uncaptured. Sorry guys, I derped wonderfully. I'm retarded.
I actually have to bounce.
Yeah,
It's been great, y'all.
it's been wonderful.
Talk to you guys later.
Righto, man. Catch you
was
next
it?
time.
Bye.
How many people can we name that have been caught without a mask? You got Nancy Pelosi in the hair salon. You had Lori Lightfoot in Chicago with a megaphone and a crowd of people all around her. You have Gavin Newsom, who said, I was meeting with family members in this upper-class restaurant. It was a lie. He actually was meeting with a lobbyist, which should tell you everything about fucking Gavin Newsom. Who else? Keir Starmer was recently caught with a bunch of people inside. I don't know who the hell took the picture, but that's pretty funny. So when I see this happening, I think that's the second time Newsom got caught, actually. I think he's been caught recently again. So if I see this crap, my instinct is, you are not taking this seriously, and you supposedly make the laws for your state. So why in the hell should anyone listen to you? You repeatedly flout your own rules. So clearly you don't take it that seriously. So
There
don't be
we
surprised
go.
when your citizens don't.
Now I managed to kind of clear up the thing. One of our minister called Svein Flotten. This guy has been like, you can't do this, you can't do this. He's oh, no, it was Bent Hoye. That was his name. Fuck, there's so many weird names in this. It was the health minister, Bent Hoye.
Of course it was.
Yes, the health minister, mind you. Bent Hoye, part of the right or the Conservative Party of Norway, and he said it will be punishable to go to your cabin when the coronavirus is running rampant. What did he do? What did he do during Easter?
Go to his cabin.
Yeah, and also he sent like videos on Facebook. Oh, it's so nice being on my cabin. That's it. That's the thing that pisses me off.
Wasn't even subtle at being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
No.
Or just rub it in your face that I can do whatever that I want with impunity.
The reason why I screwed up is because he's in the same party as Erna Solberg. That's the birthday thing. And yes, she wasn't there, but she was kind of the cause for it, so she had to pay for it. Norwegian tax money, of course.
Again, why do people listen to politicians when it comes to healthcare? It is mind-boggling.
Yep.
But I don't understand. Most people will tell you, I do not think of any, I can't name a single person who think any politician tells the truth. But for some reason, they think they tell the truth with this. See, how? Why?
In this one.
I mean, you constantly complain. The one thing you don't like about politics is unelected bureaucrats telling you what to do. When you have unelected so-called scientists, which I am putting in quotation marks, telling the politicians what to do, and conveniently, all of what the medical so-called experts, honk honk, quote unquote, tell these people to do, give massive amounts of power to state officials. I can't imagine why they would only listen to a certain number of experts that repeatedly give politicians who are psychotically hungry for power more power. And no one seems to think this is unusual, except me, because I'm sane and I'm surrounded by morons.
And they choose the experts who they listen
Yes,
to.
exactly.
The experts who give them the most power.
Yes,
Of course, the skeptic doctors and all of these people, they are censored, and
Yes.
that's the way it is.
Yeah, then I would rather listen to the censored ones because the
Yes.
censored ones would actually freaking make
Absolutely.
sense.
Trust the
Does anyone
science.
of you-
Listen to
anyone
the
else
scientists. Wait, not those ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do
It's
anyone
almost
else
like
think
the
it's,
that
algorithm.
it's
I know
become
an idea?
it's become a religion.
Yeah.
It is. It is
cathedral.
a religion. Yeah, I love that term.
From the COVID. Save
Yeah,
me.
the cathedral has a medical wing now.
Indeed.
Wonderful.
Well,
Mm.
if we move on to our Today in Stupid segment, we'll eventually get to what Trim's illustrious Prime Minister has been up to.
Oh God.
Oh God, illustrious, Jesus fucking Christ.
But first, we will start with what the Australian government has gone up to in their latest budget. Women's safety to get millions and millions of dollars.
Really, how progressive?
Indeed. The government, and this is from our national broadcast, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, the government is spending billions of dollars on women's health and safety in this year's budget. So why are advocates saying it's still not enough? Because they are power-hungry grifters who don't actually care about women's rights?
Seems about right.
Yeah.
Seems about right, yeah.
So, $3 billion for women's programs. Libby Lyons, the ex-head of the Workplace Gender Equality Agency, well, that tells you everything you need to know, said last night many view the funding as band-aid measures. Fantastic.
Band-Aid measures. Wow. That's because they deserve so much more. Oh my
Yep.
God.
The main feedback in the wake of
don't be
the
a
budget
fan.
is that women's organisations were really hoping this would be a gender-responsive budget or one that had a gender lens applied to it.
The
Yeah,
last
screw-
thing
'cause
we
screw
need is
men.
a gender lens. The last thing we need is a gender lens.
Yep, and
Literally the last
here
thing.
is a quote from Helen Daly Fisher from the Equality Rights Alliance.
Oh.
When the budget
This
is
is gonna be
prepared, policymakers think about people. But thanks to 2,000 years of patriarchy, when we think about people, we're actually thinking about the lives of men. One, patriarchy is not real. Two, if it fucking was, it'd be around longer than 2,000 years ago. Pay attention, you fucking hypocrites.
And not to mention that things would be, generally just smoother around.
Oh, look, there you go. There's her face. She definitely looks like a feminist.
Holy fucking shit. There's not enough beer on the fucking planet.
Hold on, I need to go. I need to see this picture now.
Oh my.
She also said that women aren't a special interest group. We are more than half the population.
Are you sure she's not trans? I mean, that jaw. Come on.
It's so progressive. It's so progressive. So very progressive.
Yep, there's been a lot of talk about a lack of systemic change to help women. What exactly do you want?
They want the whole world
Yep.
in their hand. They want the whole.
Yep.
Sorry.
They want the systems that people want to overhaul usually center around childcare, paid parental leave, wage support for female-dominated industries. Wage support for female-dominated industries. You mean like nursing, teaching, childcare, and superannuation? Because screw men.
Yeah, we never mattered anyway.
Because they're barriers to women retained to the workforce, or barriers to women earning and saving enough to guarantee their economic security. Well, maybe stop working part-time in bullshit fucking jobs.
Now you're asking too much.
Indeed.
They're
Budget.
feminists.
Oh, here we
They
go.
can't
Budget
do
contained no new money to extend paid parental leave. They already get 18 fucking weeks, and we extended it by more just 2 fucking years ago.
Oh boy.
And did you know what men get if they happen to be a parent? 2 weeks.
Mm.
2
Oh,
fucking weeks.
Wow.
But women
Norway's got
most
a better-
affected.
Norway's got a better system than that. Jesus.
Because I just saw the picture of the woman. If she's not a feminist, she's eaten a feminist.
And she's devoured them. She's merged with them. Become one with them.
Oh god, it's like
Murdered by
Jabba the
them.
Hutt of feminism.
Oh my god.
Oh,
that's horrible.
and look, they're
Super Mario
complaining.
should jump
that-
over their head.
Wait,
they
you're talking
can-
about Arnold
Fine.
Goldberg?
Jesus Christ. So they're now complaining that
Uh.
instead of subsidising childcare more, they should just make childcare free. And make sure the wages of
Really?
childcare workers, over 9% of whom are women, are lifted and job security improved. Where
That
the
seems fair.
fuck is this money going to come from? Oh, I know.
Your taxes.
Man.
It seems fair, guys. It's really fair. It's really fair. Don't you see? It's so fair. It's a fairest thing of all the fair things.
You can end up making a parallel society of men and women. And they're not going to be integrated.
And
We're
also,
gonna-
We're going to
Don't-
have 3 zones. We're going to have a zone of men, a zone of women, and then a mixed zone.
and don't forget, we
Wrong.
need to create more jobs in female-dominated industries. Because that
Why?
will benefit women. God,
Because fuck men.
God fucking knows. Oh, and what about women's safety? But they're heartened by the $1.1 billion over 4 years on safety policies. What fucking safety policies? Do you want to make
Why were
women
they
safer?
effective?
I can make women safer in one foul sweep. Second Amendment, every woman gets a fucking 38. Problem fucking solved.
Oh, I thought you meant like
Yeah.
get them out of the workforce.
That sound well based.
Well, that would
I like
solve their
both ideas.
complaints about the workplace, but if we want to talk about safety, how does a woman protect herself against a man with a gun? You want come talk to me about concealed carry, and then we'll fucking talk about women's safety.
I like this idea. The Second Amendment can solve so many problems.
God made
Really?
man, Samuel Colt made them equal.
Oh, if only. Well, at least they're equal in places where everyone has a fucking gun.
Yep. But well, so that's the end of the article. And if we can now move on to what Trim's had about their PM, but then we'll come back to gender discrimination in the Queensland Police Service. So, Norway Prime Minister Erna Solberg fined RS 1.76 lakh for flouting COVID safety protocol. Do you want to tell us what this is all about, Trim?
It's generally just a... Okay. She was having a party, or she organized a party for her family. The numbers exceeded, and the funny thing is, she has always been so hard on that. You can't have more than this. You can't have more than that. Weekly or twice a week, you saw her on the TV just constantly being like, you have to do this and this. You can't be that. Remember this. Remember that. We gotta fight COVID together. La 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 la. All that crap. And of course,
I'm not gonna make it sound like a group project.
I know. It's she's from Hoyre. Everything is fucking a group project there.
Collectivists. Yeah.
Yeah, disgusting. Anyway, and then of course, having to be a Norwegian politician, a prime minister, she of course had she just had to be a fucking hypocrite, just like, oh, we're doing this and that and this. Of course, she only has to pay 20,000, which is, well, is actually fair. She organized it, she wasn't there. At least the law is equal. But the thing that pisses me off is the principle of it. While the law is fair and makes her pay for her infraction, the fact that she did it when she is the leader of the country and has been spending days after days after days after months constantly nagging about this, that she's the one guilty of this.
Yep, typical politicians, hypocrites. Like, can we find a hardcore lockdowner who hasn't broken their own rules? Is there a single one
By the way,
anywhere in the world?
Is she a left wing or right wing?
She looks like a feminist. Well, she looks like she's
well,
eaten 5 or 6 feminists.
okay, now I'm gonna surprise you. A Norwegian politicians are rather based. Now, while it kind of pissed me off, I must admit, I am proud of how our politicians aren't completely whack jobs like the British and the Americans and God knows everyone else. Because while they do have a little bit of lefty thing and a few hints of progressivism, they haven't drinking all the Kool-Aid. Now, Erna looks like he's had a lot of Kool-Aid, but she hasn't had that kind of Kool-Aid. She's just had the collective Kool-Aid.
I think I know why
She
that
looks
is
like
with
she
you guys.
drinks her food.
Yeah, gross.
I mean, she at least makes good food from what I hear. Anyway, the parties in Norway is pretty much either you centrist, you center left. We have one far, maybe 2 far left parties, and one slightly conservative party, which is of course our Progress Party. Of course, who is now led
the
by
irony of the name.
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
and the funny part is that the actual competent and gutsy leader of that party, Siv Jensen, decided to, of course, quit her job after a long time of service, which I respected for it. She went up with pride, and after long service, well done. And of course, she gave the reins to the biggest nut job of them all, Sylvi Listhaug, who is internationally known as the Cheeto of Middelhavet.
So it's just like a Trump version.
Yes, except that she just says so much stupid shit. I mean, Trump at least has a point. Sylvia just rambles off, and every 5th word she says has a point, but the rest is just mindless.
I will say, I think the reason why you guys are the way you are is because you instituted a lot of policies to an egalitarian point, and then you realized, like Jordan Peterson said, the differences between women became more exacerbated. Or exacerbated, sorry. So I think you guys realized that, oh, this is what happens in a normal society once you split the differences. The differences become more split, and that's just the way it is. So for you guys, you took the conclusion of the experiment to be, this is what happens. Whereas the British and the Americans, for some fucking reason, who the hell knows, they think that that result is somehow immoral. Whereas you think, well, you're ironically more based in science. Whereas the Americans and the English are more based in ideology, which I think may be the disparity.
I want to thank our dear Swedish brothers and also our Danes for being the fall guys in the experiment for us to learn from. I mean, we learned so much
idiots.
from this. Look at Sweden. Oh yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, because
No
look
offense to any
at
Swedes.
look at the things that Sargon and Callum were discussing. Is the systemic racism? They figured out no, this doesn't actually exist, and here's the policy examples that prove why it doesn't exist, and they're still screaming about it. So that tells you they don't give a shit about the results. They are looking for a mythical escaped being of why it is the way it is. Now, the evidence is right in front of them, but because it isn't dialogically to their acceptance, they reject it. So that tells you that's the difference between you guys. You are solidly based in science, and they're deluded drunk on an ideology that doesn't exist.
Exactly. Though we
That would
have
be
a
my
few
reason.
signs of we're getting a little bit of that cancer, but I have actually kind of positive. I have a little bit of positivity when it comes to this because we already have student people writing in our official newspapers, and they're actually kind of based. So I give us a 50-50 chance of surviving this, unlike Sweden, who had the odds against them from the start.
Sweden's, I won't say far right party, but to progressives, so-called far right party, is actually on the rise, and the conservative could mingle with them in order to get a majority in the next election. So there is hope for Sweden.
Yes.
But Sweden also has the largest. How can I say this in the politest way? Have the largest cleanup to engage in. That sounds really shady now that I'm saying that. Actually,
And considering the Swedish king's former political format, let's just say that the Swedes had a very interesting king.
for the record, I didn't say cleansing or solution.
No, but
Before
You-
anyone gives me
you-
crap for what I'm trying to say, or some jackass just says, I'm reading in between the lines of what I'm saying. No, bitch, you're making lines and then reading in between the lines you just made. I didn't say shit.
it's a pretty good description of feminism.
What, reading in between the lines? That's women in general. No offense,
Yeah.
ladies, but there's something like you'll say something about a woman. Like here's a good example of something that women do, and this is the case. They'll say like, "Do I look good in a blue dress or a red dress?" And then you'll say, "You look good in the blue dress," and the response will be, "Are you saying that I would look good in the red dress?" And
Yeah,
I know you've
absolutely.
had this, and you'll go like, "I didn't say that at all. What the fuck are you talking about?" And then there's a bit in Chris Rock where he says, "How the fuck we get here?" It's that moment. Of,
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
hell did we get here? Saying shit that, yeah, well, there you go.
Well, it's
It's
like
like
when
that.
they ask the old question, does this what dress make me look fat? The only acceptable answer is yes, because you're going to have a fucking fight anyway.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood. I got 10 minutes to kill. Fuck it. Like, yes, you do.
I think
you
it
might
was
as well get the
Bill
boxing
Burr.
gloves on. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think it was Bill Burr who said something like this. Oh, is that what we're going to do tonight? Have a fight?
Yeah.
I like Bill Burr. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He is.
That is how that works. The best thing to do would just not be engaging. Because it's what
The
was it
only
that
winning
Chris
move
Rock
is
said?
not to play.
Well, Chris Rock said that they're in it for distance and irritation. Because men have a need to make sense, and women are not about to let something like sense get in the way of winning an argument.
Yeah, you're saying something there because when they get angry, they have when they and effeminate men get angry, they have a tendency of searching for more shit to get angry for. So they're like a burning
Yes.
fire of anger, and then if I knew stuff to just throw into the furnace of burn more. Like this is shit. How is this? Clean up yourself. Blah 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 blah.
Yep, or when you think it's over. Oh, you look
They'll bring up
angry. Are
something
you
from,
angry?
like, 5 months ago.
No, it's after it's all well and done. They'll be like, "Oh, you look angry. Are you angry? Are you angry with me? Why are you angry? Bitch, I wasn't angry, but now we're fucking gonna have a go."
Yeah. Yeah. Good lord. Thank God conservative women are not like that.
I love conservative women.
There's not many of them left.
Nah, but there's some, and that's good enough for me.
There will be in the next generation coming up, though. Because the
So, I
next
certainly
generation are
hope
going
so.
to be uber conservative. Yeah, who was it that said the next generation is going to be uber conservative? Because
I know
the
Sargon's
current
read a lot of articles
Because
saying
liberals don't have kids.
No, I think it's because kids do art, as they grow up and they become teenagers, they're naturally rebellious, and the rebellious ones in the previous paradigm was the ones against the Satanic Panic, and now that same religious
exactly.
fervor has begun to kick in, and now you can't say
Conservatism
these
is the
things.
new counterculture.
Yeah, exactly. So the new one is going to be, well, you can't say these alphabet people
Yes,
are bad,
yes.
and the teenager is going to go, yes, we can, screw you. And
Franny.
exactly. I mean, we do that now, but
I'm looking forward to that. So I met some of the younger people, and again, just like with the teenager who wrote an article, you have a bit of those where you think, we're in a good hands. And I meet other fucking teenagers who's like, yeah, we're
Dear
kind of
God. Yeah.
So again, I'm flipping a coin and just seeing how it lands because at least we have 50-50, maybe
Yeah, it is a
55-45.
50-50. It also would make
Mhm.
politics in a couple of years just hell when these
Oh,
idiots were to gain power because they have no idea about history or philosophy or any of this shit.
Oh yeah.
And then afterwards, we're going to have absolute chaotic fun. Because the next
yeah.
generation along the line is going to be like, yeah, no, you guys suck. It's terrible. And there's,
Guys, you know the shit you did for us? We
you know how
remember.
remember how you made us miss a whole year of education for some poxy virus that kills less than 0.02% of people? Why did you do that? And
Less
good
than
luck explaining that one.
less than 0.01% of people in Australia.
Shit.
Zero point zero zero 0.0044.
I don't know. I did America's maths recently, and for their entire infected to death ratio, do you know what the percentage of death is? It's less than 0.17%.
Wow.
For the entire infected rate, like if you just go to COVID cases, because there's a big website with all the per country, per infected, and per death and whatever, and theirs is 0.17% if you do the maths.
I think there's
And
more people dying of the zombie virus than that.
yeah, or Twitter as they're looking in traffic, and not at or looking at the phone, not at the traffic.
Oh, that beautifully cancerous platform. I love it and I hate it.
I mean, I don't like it because I'm not allowed on it. I mean, I can see things, but I actually can't comment because I told the British MP to I called him a sellout cunt.
I mean, were you wrong?
No, it was David Lammy, so obviously not.
Of course, it was David Lammy.
Yeah, and I got banned from Facebook for repeatedly saying a certain F word.
France?
Yeah,
I
the
was
first.
about to say, do you
Yeah.
mean the German-based word? Oh, you mean the one that is a bundle of sticks?
Yeah, that's the one. I said that. Here's how I knew I was that word. The first time I said it, I thought I was having a go at Clinton because it was political, and I did it again, and I got banned. I think because I called it, I said a black woman is that because she was being allowed, and I said that word. What else I
I
got
think we can
banned
just
for?
say bundle of sticks, and people will
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, but they know the F word by now. And the last one I got banned for is I just said it in my status update. I didn't say it at anyone, no context, just the word, and that got me banned for 30 days.
Outstanding.
So you don't even need to say it at someone or anything. It can literally just be a word without any context whatsoever, and the word will get you kicked.
Funny. Amazing.
So I don't know if the first time that you get banned for any kind of words or opinion, if it is just you're on some kind of register and you're more closely examined, because I did notice that when I said certain words, I would instantly get silenced, or what's the word I'm looking for, suspended for a couple of days. And I think overall I've been suspended like 10 times. So I think about 6 or 7 months I was suspended in total. And I think the last time I just realized that, wow, this isn't fun anymore. And I just stopped, and I deactivated my account, and that was, I'd say, like 2 years ago.
Nice.
So yeah. And I got banned from YouTube as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened there. That was I didn't say anything malicious. Well, not anything more than I usually would. And then I just got the account got purged for some rather bizarre reason. And then I saw that V said a bunch of people messaged him and said they got purged as well. Exactly the next day after I got purged, he did that video. So then I realized, oh, it's nothing to do with my words. It's just a whole bunch of accounts got purged, presumably because they listened to conservatives. Because it was all conservatives that I was listening to. I was listening to Styx, Razor Fist. Let's think who else would I be listening to? The Conservative Twins, obviously, the Hodge Twins. Some of Sargon's videos. So and V obviously, and yeah, so it's just all non-lefty leaning voices, and then just purged.
Yep.
So yeah, you learn quickly. Not even your subscriptions can keep you from being purged.
Of course.
It seems that they will be used against you in the descent from the angry wench of YouTube Mountain,
Yeah.
bitch.
Let us call her by her true name.
Voldemort?
Well, if you wanna. I mean, we already have a Voldemort.
Nancy
See
Pelosi.
something? Well, I'm not talking about those who actually look like Voldemort. I'm talking about the British Voldemort.
Yes.
Yeah.
The British,
He who shan't be named.
he who shall not be named.
Yep.
Yes.
That is fucking ridiculous. But
Well,
anyway, let's not tempt fate.
Can you say his legal name, or is it just as bad?
Let's
Yeah,
just
You
say
probably could
probably
say his
not
real
worth
name.
risking.
No.
let's just say
Something-
Lenin. Lenin.
Something Lennon, yeah.
That'll work. Let's not.
Yeah.
Yes,
tempt fate
but
on
and
that.
we're totally talking about the other Lenin, right? Right.
Yes, totally.
yeah.
The great liberator.
Imagine.
The great liberator
song.
of the German people. Yes, of course. No, German. Fuck it, Russian people.
I mean, he did liberate Germany from the Jews.
Ooh.
Well, it ended up with it. Jesus.
And by the way, no, I'm not endorsing the killing of the Jews. I actually have no problem with the Jews. And I've gotten crap from white nationalists because I don't hate the Jews, which is really, really weird considering my opinions on a lot of issues. It's like, you white nationalist, you terrible person, you. I don't hate the Jews. Oh my, really? You don't? No, I actually have no problem with the Jews. Huh. You sure you're not a white nationalist? Yes, I'm very sure. Don't hate the Jews. No problem with Israel. Don't like the Israeli government. I think they're a bit much, but Jewish home state. Yeah. You could easily just debunk that by just saying, "Yeah, I am for the Jewish state of Israel, because if they didn't have a state, they'd be over here."
Well, that's one way to do it.
It's like, yes, for that reason we. No, I don't mind the Jews. The Zionists, on the other end.
I'll use that.
Yeah, I thought that was a really funny comment from someone who said, "Yes, I'm for the Israeli state. Otherwise, they'd be over here." Like, that's pretty. I actually can't follow you. That's a pretty good case. So now, if somebody says they're pro-Israel, like, yeah, they're pro-Israel, but they're not pro-Jew. So it's kind of a weird way of segueing between the two of them.
Oh well, that's at least something, I guess.
Yeah, but
Why are you
obviously,
pro-Israel again?
because I don't like the Jews being next door. And their main influence then is over Palestine and not anybody else.
Didn't they have a barbecue, celebrate a Palestine barbecue or something?
Oh god, that sounds horrifying.
Oh, some
Yeah,
fuck
but yeah.
videos.
Yeah, that
Anyway.
was a pretty good response. Obviously, no, we're not against the Jews. I have
my
no problem
my
with the Jews.
opinion of the whole Israel-Palestine thing is I don't give a fuck. I have more important things to care about, and let them sort out their own issues.
Yeah, but I think the Israelis will obviously always win that because they're way better armed than the Palestinians.
They got more money.
Yeah, that too, especially when it comes from Uncle Sam. I'm actually not in favor of the amount of, or the colossal amount of money that the Israeli state gets against the Palestinians. I'm not saying that the Israelis aren't in right to defend themselves, and the Palestinians, if you wish to attack them and you say, "Oh, it is your land," yeah, I'm pretty sure many tribes throughout history thought it was their land once the attackers kicked the shit out of them. And in order for stability in the region, you could, I don't know, stop attacking the Israelis because they're better armed and will not seven shades of shite out of you. So maybe stop doing that.
Hey, if anyone want to see a good video on the Palestine-Israel thing, just go on YouTube and
Is it a
search
troll video or legit?
the music video, an animated music video. It's called "This Land Is Mine." Pretty good song.
Is it based?
Basically, it's Palestine and Israel from all back in the years. Was like, "This land is mine," and just going back and forth with them killing each other.
Huh.
Just going through the entire world history, because Jesus Christ, that country is soaked in so much blood.
Bloodshed, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fairly chaotic reason even before the Israeli state was forged anyway, so... It's, you know...
Embrace the power of chaos, I suppose.
Disavow?
Wow, that
somewhat. Well, yeah, because
chaos. No, the Emperor protects.
Well, at least I'm not a filthy Tau, am I? Fucking blueberry commies.
Yeah, I think to fight the communists would be a fair thing. I have a question for you guys. How do you think a state should really handle the commie threat from the left? Because I'm actually in favor of the state exercising its right to, well, crush them as revolutionaries with all the force that the state can muster, because their ideology. I was on Adam and Sitch and I said this because I understand that the idea of banning communism can be easily subverted into saying, but you're also an evil person, and then you'll just get a bunch of people banned back and forth, and it's pretty much where you'd end up now. But another part of me is also going, yes, but the difference is you can say that what you advocate for is absolute hell and tyranny, because every time it's been tried, it ends up in hell and tyranny. Whereas the constitutionalists can advocate for, no, we have a tremendous record of success. It has given you the liberty and the unbelievable amount of prosperity you have now, whereas yours is tremendous failure, ours is tremendous success. So I think if the state were to say, we are going to remove you from this earthly plane if you keep advocating for this shite, I think the state is completely in their right to do so.
Well,
at this point, maybe yes,
opinion. But I've already said my
the problem
opinion.
is they disguise their communism.
Yes, but I think
They
anyone who
disguise it
has...
always.
Yes, but if you're a member of the State Department, I think you can, if you're in any way a competent one, you can see bullshit revolutionaries when you see them. Like when you smash private property, that's kind of an indication of you don't give a crap. Like, I'm for the working man, so I'm going to smash his business.
Well, that's where I think
the problem is censorship, because it would fade away. The censorship is the problem.
Probably the easiest thing to do would be to force the police and the prosecutors to actually enforce the laws they've already got. Enforce laws against rioting, enforce laws against threats of violence.
Yep.
If people are advocating for theft, which is what redistribution of property is,
and Whitmer needs to fucking go.
Yeah. Just start arresting terrorists when they're committing their acts of terrorism, and the problem will solve itself.
Agreed.
Yeah, it should in a normal society. But if the media is completely left, if the entertainment industry and the culture is completely left, it's really hard. That's the problem. Because anyone,
half the time we catch the media.
We can see this shit, but still they are disguising. These progressives, we also have this progressive party. They are the same as the Democrats, essentially. And they are disguising, but they are communists. But not everyone sees it. And the young people, they go after young people always. And the young people in one country already, they don't know about communism. And the old people, they don't.
Well, the fun fact about communists, they don't reproduce themselves. They, of course, have to go and infect the children of the not communists.
Yeah.
Again, communism is a mental disorder. It's a disease that is spread from person to person, and I hate it with the passion of a burning sun.
And it always starts with this fake altruism. We have to help these marginalized people, blah blah blah. It always starts with that.
Well, I have a feeling that the pendulum is gonna swing back very soon. It always does.
Yeah, it's gonna swing hard because of the censorship. It's just going to blow up.
Yeah, the
I just hope
hardest
people
thing is
wake
going to
up
be
and
trying to
mask.
stop it from swinging too far.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hope too
but
many
that's the
innocents
problem.
won't get
That's
caught. I just hope too many innocents won't get caught in the swing back.
oh yeah,
Indeed.
let's hope so.
Yeah, that's also my biggest fear is when it claps back. is
Yeah, it claps
is
back hard.
yeah, is when the pendulum. I've said it before, like the pendulum is like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit more to the right, a little bit more
Yeah,
to the
that's
left, and
normal.
then yeah, but
censorship
when
did
it
it, like,
swings to the one
it's
side,
really
my
like-
mind's gonna. But yeah, the pendulum swinging back is gonna. It's gonna be less like a pendulum, more like a fucking wrecking ball. And
It's the same thing.
like
If
a
you
wrecking
think
ball.
about censorship and you just don't know anything and you try to red pill people, for
No.
example, it is impossible because it has to be like gradual. There has to be some incentive from the individual to try to find out the truth, but there is none.
Yeah, but that to me is so insidious from an intellectual perspective. Not just the fact that you can't have freedom, but the fact that you'll be forever stupid because you're restricting information.
Yeah.
That to me is just dumb. Like, I want to know what this crazy person is saying. Like, if I have 10 doctors in front of me and all but one agree on something, my first instinct is not to censor the one who's disagreeing. I'd like to go, what is the one person disagreeing saying and why? Because if you can come up with something better than all the other 9,
Just laziness. If you
Yes.
just don't, yeah, that's it.
yeah, like if I can,
it's
if
like
the one
Carl
can prove
said.
something, then go
It's
in.
like Carl says, the best disinfectant is sunlight.
Yeah.
And Dankelook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Best disinfectant is sunlight, especially if it's coronavirus.
Oh my god,
Quite
coronavirus.
literally,
That's
actually.
UV light. That's UV light.
Oh my god, communism is vampirism and it's corona. Jesus.
Yep.
Mind blown.
Did you guys ever look into that thing that Trump was saying, the ultraviolet light treatment? Because it's actually an older treatment. It was used in the 50s.
It was.
I haven't.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was it became outdated because penicillin overtook it. And obviously, penicillin is easier to distribute. But yeah, they would.
Until that stuff works again.
Yeah, and then they use ultraviolet light to treat the thing. I think it was in the 50s. I don't know if there's any pictures of it, but it sounded pretty cool actually. So I thought like, oh, this is what it is, because obviously Styx is not an idiot, so he just said, look at what it actually is, and I went to go look at it, and I don't know, I had this really weird image in my mind of someone swallowing like a PVC pipe of bright purple lights, and it like
the
shocks
black
them.
light.
Yes, right. I had the same thing. And it's like shove that down, and it's like a black
Exactly.
board and this like shiny light, and you can see like a live X-ray of just pulsing light through their entire body. And I went, this could disinfect them, and this looks cool as shit. So would do this. Fuck your vaccine. Give me this.
Yeah.
I could turn myself into an art show and put it on YouTube and get some hits. Fuck that.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh,
looks
God.
like Trim has got to go in a bit. So I've got one
Yeah, me
last
too. Me
news
too, guys.
article. Excellent. I've got one last news article for you guys that we'll try and get through a bit quickly. In Queensland, our police service has just been found to have engaged in gender discrimination. Now, who would like to take a guess at what the plot twist is?
It wasn't a
It
human.
was a discrimination against a man.
Yeah, funny that.
Oh,
Is it
Come
transgender
on.
person?
Yep, Queensland police employees stood down after Watchdog finds gender discrimination in recruitment process. A damning report has found at least 200 men who were more qualified than their female counterparts were blocked from entering the police force because of their gender.
Oh, so
Nice.
progressive.
Yep.
Oh my god, this is driving me nuts.
I like the way that it had to enter because they were more qualified than their female counterparts, as if that wasn't already obvious given the fact that they're men.
Yep. Queensland police engaged in discriminatory recruitment practices in an attempt to achieve a 50% female recruitment target over 3 years. As a result, about 200 male applicants more qualified than their female counterparts were blocked from graduating to the Queensland Police Service.
Can I just be sexist for a moment and say I do not want any females in any fire service or police work? ever.
I
That
think
is
you can.
men-only territory. As a
You
matter
guys-
of fact,
you guys saw-
I'll go one further. No females in politics either. Screw you guys. Men only. Men only should only be in charge. I don't care if anyone calls me sexist. Fuck you.
Screw you, gals. I'm going home.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
because like Janis Korten-Mikke said, females are for socialism and men are for capitalism and risk. Therefore, they'll make better leaders.
That guy's bait.
That guy's based as shit. The second the general thing came out in France, all I could think of when he said to Sagan just try to convince some generals. Like, that is the
Yes.
instant first thing that came to mind was, he said this exactly like a year and a bit ago. He said this exact same thing, and it's happening volitionally in France. It was awesome.
I mean, I'm not
Oh,
entirely
God.
against having women in the police force or the fire department, but certainly not when they graduate from the police academy despite not having met the initial minimum standards to enter, like 6 women are alleged to have done in Queensland. Fuck you. You can't meet the minimum fucking standards. How can you be a fucking cop? And of course, the minimum
How is that
standards for
bloating
women are
position?
lower than those for men anyway. Well, apparently they didn't have to blow anyone. I'd have more respect for that, but the police were just like, nah, screw them, man.
Why,
We
'cause
want to
there's
have
at least a work ethic?
50-50.
We got something out of it, huh?
Well, you did say that they don't blow, then screw them, man. Maybe they did that instead.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You guys remember this video? The latest video when the woman just accidentally shot this guy because she thought that was that she's pulling a trigger on the taser.
Oh yeah, that one.
Well,
the funny
apparently
thing-
she was
the
a
funny
veteran
thing
of over a
is-
decade.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, there is another video. I was watching Matt Christiansen's stream. Another video from like 2 or 3 years ago. It's the same script. It's hilarious. A woman cop shouting taser, and she shoots the guy, and she says, "Oh shit, I shot him." It's unbelievable.
The street is cursed. The street is cursed. Run away, everyone! Run away from the women in that street. They'll shoot you while chasing you. Oh Lord.
Females, shit.
Well, I mean, there are some dudes who screw up on a regular basis as well, so I'm not gonna shit on too many women, but I mean, come on.
Just the physicality of the body. That should be enough.
Yeah, that's just straight up it. I don't think
Uh,
females should be in the military either. Certainly not serving anyway.
Yeah.
Certainly
Hey,
not
as
in
long as they-
combat.
No.
But
As long as
at
they
the
fulfill
bare
the physical
fucking
demand,
minimum,
like, mate.
At the bare
I
minimum,
would
we
say
need
that
to get rid of
Except-
One in 1,000 and the lesbian.
I
will.
make the
Fine.
exception. I'll make the exception for Russian chicks.
Oh yeah.
Hardcore.
For some reason, Russian chicks can shoot a gun. Like the highest sniper in the Soviet Union was a female.
Like, I think at the bare minimum, regardless of whether you think that women should or shouldn't be in these services, at the bare fucking minimum, we need to get rid of this crap about having a lower physical fitness standard for women.
Agreed.
No, fuck off. If there's a standard to do the job, it's the standard for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else is just diversity bullshit.
Yeah. Your
And
job
we
is to
all know
protect
that
people, men
diversity
and
hires
women.
don't work.
Yeah.
But diversity
Wait,
hires
which-
are how
which-
innocent black men get shot with instead of tased.
Wait, how did the which woman said literally said I am a diversity hire again?
That was the CIA.
The CIA one?
CIA.
Oh my god, I forgot.
A proud
that.
Latina.
No. Wait, was it Latin?
I have imposter syndrome while I'm surrounded by diversity rewards. I wonder why. Can't imagine why you would be.
Oh god.
Yes,
I mean,
when you basically come out and say they hired me because I'm a black female, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Right.
With
so
an anxiety
can you tell me
disorder,
more?
of
Yep.
course.
Can you tell me more about your qualifications? Oh, you don't
I mean,
have any other
do
than
you
that.
really want to hear someone who's a leader in the CIA have a fucking anxiety disorder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should disqualify you right on the spot.
And she talked about the patriarchal ideals. You're in a CIA. What the hell? It's surrounded by men. It is a man-made freaking structure, you idiot. Of course it's patriarchal. Why the hell are you even there then if you don't like patriarchal structures? It is
Well,
like the
that's
Ubermensch
because
of,
these idiots
patriarchal structures.
think that meritocracy is patriarchy and that it's evil. They hate meritocracy. That's their problem with patriarchy.
All for meritocracy, so I guess hate me if you want to.
It doesn't even make any sense though. It just makes you go, how the hell did we get to this point?
And they are trying to sell it like a good thing. That's
Right.
the most
That's the
outrageous
depressing
thing.
thing as well, yeah.
I'm mentally insane. I am a good thing. Well, okay,
Yeah,
that was a
I'm-
bit harsh, but you know what I'm going
I am
for.
a strong, independent woman. Join the CIA. No. Dear God, no. I do
no.
like the idea of the CIA playing 4D chess, and anyone that would sign up will be like put on a watch list.
That would be
I kind
cool.
of like that. Like that to me is like, I don't
Like
know.
we are the communists.
Right, exactly. Like if they said to me that is what they would do, in my head I'm like, I'm
That
kind
is-
of okay
that
with
is
this.
based.
That is pretty good, yeah.
Well, to be fair, they wouldn't actually say it publicly because then they,
Yeah, they would because
they-
the progressives are too stupid to realize they're being duped.
Yeah.
I mean, you might never know. There's through genetic diversity, random
Dude,
mutations.
no.
there might be
If
one.
China watches CNN to get a grip of American news, I guarantee you progressives would be duped by that fucking advert.
You got a you got a point there. You got a point there.
Yeah, so who the hell? Who the fuck knows?
Fuck China.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Okay. Take care.
See you
all right.
later, too.
Okay,
All right, I think
bye.
we'll wrap things up here, guys. So, anyone who's been watching this far, thank you very much for joining us. This has been the pilot episode of the podcast of the Sultans of Shadilay. And if you want to hear more from us or you have any feedback, leave us a comment. Otherwise, it's been lovely having you. It's been lovely having Spoon, Trim, and the others with me tonight. Thank you all, and good night.
Cheerio.
Bye.